So hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It's qualifier race number 1 in August, and this is MyWhoosh Bonanza month. It is full of MyWhoosh goodness because, oh my goodness, we are going to be bringing you so much racing. We've got 5 Sunday race clubs, 4 qualifiers and a final. We've got 4 World Championship public qualifiers, and we've got the MyWhoosh Championship, 7 stages over 8 days. It's going to be absolutely packed. I cannot wait for it. My name's Matt Payne. I'm going to be putting words to the action to all of that, along with the one and only Emma Martin. Emma, we've got lots and lots to come, and we're going to kick it off in Australia.
We are indeed. We're heading to Australia today to the Outer Loop course, 35 kilometres of racing, 593 metres of climbing, and the course record, the women's course record, held by Merle Bruni, 57 minutes 35. I wonder whether that will go today. Well, they come out of the start pen into the sprint segments. There are 4 sprint checkpoints today. The first one of those coming at 4.4 kilometres, then 8.9, then 12.5. Then the Canberra climb checkpoint is in the middle before we hit the final sprint checkpoint at 31.3 kilometres. Now, the majority of the climbing today on that Canberra climb is 5.4 kilometres in length with an average gradient of 7.6%. But you can clearly see it is a 3-stepped climb. And those climb steps do kick 12%, 14%. They do get very steep in places, as we would expect in Australia. Well, following the descent and the run through the Canberra sprint checkpoint at the 35 kilometre mark, it is the checkered flag. And I can tell you, at the top of the Canberra climb, 20.7 kilometres. That gives a long run of just over 14 kilometres to the finish line.
So that's the women's race route. Our women going first here today and on every Sunday race club. 6 categories of women. Our first race category away are our Category 6 women. They're going to be kicking off at 11:30 Gulf Standard Time, with our Category 1 going at 12 Gulf Standard Time. The men's race is 2 hours after for their race start. So it gives you an indication of where we're going to be between now and then. But we're going to kick it all off with the women, with Category 6, our standard race category. Our riders will be battling it out across that course that we've just seen and described to you by Emma there. So let's take you through our teams first of all. No team prize competition in the qualifiers, but very important in terms of publicity for the teams. We really want to encourage those teams and to support those. So Daniel Londono of Royal Ascent, one of our team riders, along with Manon Holtman, Melissa Scriven of the Kitty Hawk Racing Skyclaw team, Jessica Hamilton and Sonia Webber are riding for the Kitty Hawk Racing Moonpaw squad. And Cycling District 6 because it is Category 6, is Jacqueline Almeida. Those riders representing their teams, just a small proportion at the moment of those riders taking to our start line here today. It is the first category away. It is Category 6. It's the first qualifier of the month. It's time to go racing. We're kicking off in Australia. Time to head underneath that UCI banner. MyWhoosh, the UCI's cycling esports partner for 2024, 25 and 26. Our riders away, heading out. They're going to take the left-hand turn, and then they're going to hit that first riser on this course. And this is a really key point, and one where we do see riders get distance at very early stages of the racing.
Oh, we do indeed, and Category 6 are away. It's a big race field today, 173 riders in the women's race field today, 330 in the men, giving us a total of 503 riders taking to the start line today. Well, 25 of those are in Category 6 in the women's race, and they are up and they are out of the start pen now. One of the features of this course in Australia is the early climb, and at the 500 metre mark, the riders are about to go into that. You can see it on the top right hand corner. It's a short, sharp kicker, and it will indeed stretch the pack and challenge the riders to stay in the group, and that's what they need to do. Well, last week in the July final on the Jebel Hafit, it was Gentili from Cahul, from Solizano, Stevenson and Narvaez. Now, some of those riders have been rewarded with a move to the next category. Claudia Gentili goes up 2. Category 5. And that is fabulous to see. And we can see that actually there's progression in all of our categories this month in August from July. Angie Solorzano's on our screen at the moment. She's up and out of the saddle because she's hit that small climb, the riser. She is in that leading group. And look at that. Exactly what we said would happen. It is like a comet, a large group of riders at the front and a big, long tail.
And you can see Angie Solorzano in person, out of the saddle, kicking down on those pedals over this riser. And the damage is being done behind ones, twos, threes, behind this big group, being distanced by the power, the pressure being put on by our leaders here. The front of this group still relatively compact. Solorzano holding position in 5th place here, but the damage is being done behind. And this is a very quick way to take a number of riders out of contention in terms of pretty much all the prizes, because the checkpoints are first across those checkpoints. You've got to get there in that leading group. And if you don't get over this little riser here with this lead group at the moment, I think we're seeing quite a major break here. This is going to take 50% of the race field out of contention within the first kilometre.
Well, and Camila Botero, Jacqueline Almeida, in fact, Almeida is on our screen at the moment. Whoa, look at that weights in the background, and talk about creating some power. Narvaez is there, Solorzano is there, Hadjuk has made the gap, so has Fielder, so is Limbaga. Almeida is in the mix with those riders, and it's a small group. We've got 2 riders just off the back, and I think they will close down the gap and get back on and swell the group slightly.
I do have slight weight rack envy going on at the moment.
It's a nice setup, isn't it?
It is a very nice setup. It has to be said. Strength training, a really key part of a lot of riders' programs, because power is such an important factor. And whilst riding lots can generate some power, it's not as effective as doing what's to get that strength and that pure outright power.
Well, 14 riders in the mix in this leading group. We've got 1 rider, Hannah Hermansen, just off the back of the group at 4 seconds. She might be lucky. She might get back on, depending upon what the group choose to do. Birdie and Driscoll, the Irish rider, a little bit further back with Jenny Tan. They are not too far off the group. It really does depend on what the group do. If the group sit up now for a I was going to say for 2 kilometres, because then they'll come into the first sprint checkpoint and there'll be no sitting up then. The changes to these checkpoints from fastest through the segment to first across the line is, I think we are going to start to see it really play around with the racing.
Yes, and I think if you were looking at basically narrowing down the odds, that's a great way to do it. Choose your first selection point and go really hard at it. Will we see Team Tactics in the Category 5 race? Well, we only have the 1 team represented, which is Cycling District 5, Cycling District with teams pretty much across all of the squads all the way through. Only Category 2 that don't actually have a team declared in at the moment. So it shows you the strength of depth. Helia Santos, along with Sofia Rodriguez, representing Cycling District 5 in Category 5. A similar sized race field, slightly bigger race field here, Emma. This, for me, is going to be very interesting to see what happens in Category 5 this month, because I think it's been in a little bit of transition. It's a very active category with people coming up and down. Will it steady down? Well, I'm sure the racing won't. Away we go here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club in August. It's qualifier race number 1, Category 5, out from those start pens. They've got that same race start. All of the categories in the women's race field having that same race start here today. They're going to take that left-hand turn. Will this do the same to Category 5 as it did to Category 6?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. I predict, yes.
That took a lot of thinking.
30 riders on the start sheets in Category 5 today, and some really strong riders in here. Lopez, Giraldo and Wilhelm, 4 seconds separated those. They were the top 3 in the July final. That was a phenomenal race, bearing in mind that was the Jebel Hafit, and that was a phenomenal last climb. Pamplona took 4th, Mare took 5th, Idzik took away the sprint competition. Santos and Rodriguez from Cycle District 5. Can I just say a big up to Cycling District, because the riders, mainly from Portugal, riders across all categories in the men's and the women's race, and it is absolutely fabulous. I do occasionally chat to the DS. One of the other riders we love to drop in with is Seba Al Rey, and she gives us a wave every week, and I
Yes.
love it. And early on in the ride, she's got a great smile on her face because it's not hurting. Well, it's about to, because she's about to go up this climb, and she's going to make sure she stays with that leading group. And I'll tell you something, she'll be working the whole of this race. I was really impressed with her last week,
Yes.
because we saw her heart rate on that climb, and she was up at around 184, 185, and she was really, really working.
Yeah.
It was fabulous to drop into the pain cave and
the
watch her.
commitment there, and you could see from the early stages where we've seen into these other stages, and also for me, it's little sections like this where you see whether somebody's being proactive, whether they're being reactive, whether we can distract them if they're listening to us as well. So for me, it really is a great window in on our riders and how they're feeling when they're racing, and it does give you that extra touch. It's also a great way because, of course, you could bluff. You could be feeling like the Grim Reaper has visited this morning and like death warmed up, and yet you could be showing the biggest smiley's face on camera as you're really hurting, and everybody would go, "Oh my goodness, we're on our limit." You can really play games.
Does that, do they?
Yeah, much.
Pulling a funny face in the studio.
Yes,
Well, Nikki Lloyd, Annalyn Teixeiros, Joanna Warren, all in the mix. Joanna Warren, can I just say, sorry, big up to the Warren family. They did get in touch with me because I did ask a question in the men's race last week about whether Joel and the Warrens were related, and they are. 3 of them, family racing on the Sunday Race Club. Well, I'll tell you who's racing on the Sunday Race Club today, and that's Jessica Hamilton, category 6. She's adamant she goes through those checkpoints first. Look at that. Beautiful in green.
And today is a day where potentially I think Hamilton's got the chance to take 2 of these sprints. Some very interesting discussion in the community about the change to first across the checkpoint, and a number of riders saying it's less inclusive.
I don't
it's
think
more elitist.
Can
because,
I just say?
No, let me finish first.
Oh.
Because when you basically say you've got to stay with the front bunch to be able to score any of those points, that then becomes much more difficult. Now, there is a counter argument, of course, that this is elite racing and this is the top of the trade.
Because I think last week was not representative of how it will go, because of the course we were on for the final and the week it was introduced. So we were introduced on the week of the July finals for the Jebelhafit. Huge climb at the end. And I just think that some of the other courses on the Sunday Race Cup, it will really ignite and change the racing. And I think that the pure sprinters will love it, because it really will let them showcase what they can do. But I do just think the course where it was first introduced is not representative of how it's going to go.
We will have to see which viewpoint will prevail over the course of time.
Yeah.
Will it be more
controversy in the commentary box?
Because this is cycling esports, things can be changed very, very quickly indeed.
Yeah.
If changes need to be made, and we know that MyWhoosh is super reactive in terms of making those changes to make sure that it fits in with what's going on. We'll see whether that happens. Will today's course be different? Will we see 2 sprints be the only 2 sprints contested by the sprinters?
No,
because
there's 3 before they get to the climb.
You don't discount the climb out, because a point was made last week that the climb of the Liwa Desert climb, which there was a sprint basically at the top of the first section of this climb that we're going to do today.
This isn't a Liwa Desert climb.
It is almost, it feels much the same when you ride up it. We will see. It's going to be, I really love the fact that
we
it's
are
got people
disagreeing
talking.
in the commentary box today.
No surprises there. Right, should we go over to Category 4? Let's get the riders underway first of all. Category 4, ready to roll. They are down on the line. Category 4, the second step up from Category 6. Category 5, up all the way. Category 4 make the way out from race start. Always a fast category. You've got some real star names in here as well. And as you can see, those riders very quickly coming up to speed, 33 kilometres an hour.
Well, yeah, and it is absolutely brilliant. So Category 4 is our largest race field today. 32 riders on the start sheets, and some really strong riders. Last time out on the July final, it was Wojcikova from Collins, from Hill, from Barragan, from Peretti. Now, as we said, some of those riders having gone up because Vochakova has indeed progressed to Category 3. I'm going to love watching her race there. But these riders really strong.
And lots of strong riders. Two of those strong riders representing the team cycling District 4, because it is Category 4, with Anna Frias and Louisa Schultz of the Pedal Queens. Pedal Queens represented once again. Just the two riders representing their teams here today because no team prizes. Emma, we're going already onto the climb, and Rosa Herrera is
Yeah.
already kicking down hard here, being chased by, I
Oh,
think, by Kawazuska, by Hill, Hybor, Howeiler, all names that we'd expect to be at the front of the race at the end.
can I just tell you, I love the fact that Rosa Herrera is on the front of this race field. She's come back to racing after a period of illness. She's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And now she is leading the Category 4 group up the first climb of the day. Go, Rosa, is what I say. Well, Majewska is there, so is Hill, so is Holweiler. You're right, Matt. All the riders we would expect to see. Hadlock, Halmarson is in there. Claudia Hyde is in there. Catherine Montoya is in there. Kawazuska, Krasova is in there. And I'll tell you something, they're really putting a push on this pack. This is a strong, strong pace. And Category 4 coming out of the pen with intention.
But at the moment, it's only separating one or two riders off the back. It's a big enough race field with close enough riders in terms of ability to be pushing very close together. So over the top they go, one long line, no big gaps opening. Where will the split go? Will there be a split? Will we see the selection made here? 50% of the race field eliminated pretty much in category 6 and 5. What will happen here? This is going to be absolutely key. You can see the split starting in the middle as Category 5 make the way down to sprint. Natalia Idzik kicks on through. She's going to be the first underneath the checkpoint here. So looking very good at the moment. And at the moment, Idzik powering away through, taking those early points there in that competition. 5 points for first, 4 points for second, 3 points for third, 2 for fourth, and 1 point for fifth place. The points added together to give us our overall leader. 4 sprints, that means that there is the potential for essentially 20 points on the way through, and then we have the climb. Well, there's only one climb today in the climbs competition, so whoever takes the first over the checkpoint of the Canberra climb checkpoint will take the checkpoint and the overall win as well. Category 4 well underway here. Heading on down, taking this right-hand turn on the way through. This is your leading group at the moment, and it has split riders off behind. I would estimate on our screens we're currently looking at about 12 riders or so. I suspect we actually have only lost about 5 or 6 riders at the moment off the back of this group.
Yeah, so Category 4, and that is one of the things I think, this smaller climb to start with, splitting the earlier starting categories. I think it will split the later starting categories less. Yeah, that is a strange choice of words, but Louisa Schultz on the front, Angel Hadlock in the mix. She's part and parcel of that group, and you can see 1 or 2 riders split from the group, but not that many. So Gina De Grazia, Montoya, Hadlock, Majewska, Hyde, all in that group, and it is great to see Hadlock part and parcel of the mix. This is going to be a course that suits her, I think, today.
I think so. It's not one monstrous 15k climb. Equally, it's not a flat course. She's a great all-round rider, and I think a rider who can dig deep, and that's going to show. We'll see if that's going to be the case as we move across to Category 3. The last of those 5 minutes gaps before we go into that 10-minute gap between Category 3 and Category 2. We've got some a real mix of teams here today. We've got the Clube de Taro de Ciclismo, the Brazilian team represented by Manfron, Cycling District 3 by Silva, the Kiwis by Lip, Team Golden Light by Golden Light, and Yellow by Holly Bergin. But the biggest team today is Riot 3 with 3 riders in Category 3. Balawa, Nyquist, and Real, the 3 riders representing Riot 3. 2 riders from the United States, 1 from Poland. Let's see if they can play some team tactics here today. Nyquist and Real, very experienced riders. Balawa, very, very strong. Another rider who could well be in contention come the end. If they play those team tactics right, it could well be that they're going to find themselves in the right place at the right time. Big kick coming out. 1 or 2 riders, although coming out of the pen, maybe not coming out quite so fast. They're going to take the left turn as the leaders in Category 4 go past just alongside them. They're heading into the tunnels to head out into the other side of the city, out from the park. But in the park at the moment, it is going to be Category 3 are being led out at the moment. De Pavia, the rider that was on the front, just being swamped here. You can't stay on the front for long if you're being smart here until we hit this climb, I think. Get a little bit of rest and then save your legs for this big kick.
Yeah, 30 riders on the start sheets in Category 3, and it is a big pack rolling strongly, full of really strong riders, Category 3. Lucas, Nyquist, McAlpine, Bulwara, and Sanchez were the top 5 last week. Charlotte Lucas going up to Category 3, the rider from New Zealand. In fact, it was a New Zealand rider who topped Category 1, 2, and 3 last week. Now, Rebecca Johnson in the mix, the rider from the UK. We can see the push and the power coming out of Johnson at the moment. She's a strong rider here, and this is a type of course that will really suit her today. I'm really looking forward to seeing her in the mix and to really pushing on strongly. I think she's one of those riders who will ride really well on the MyWhoosh Championships. Should she be entered, we will find out shortly. Silva is in here, Jen Reel is in here, Angelina Roa is in here, Sabrina Horner, Katrin Nielsen, Manuela Vasquez. They are all in the mix. Brittany Litton is here. She's not gone for the Brittany Litton charge that she did last week, which was go off the front about 2k out from the checkpoint and dial it so hard that you blow up for the rest of the race. And yes, we have had a chat about it. So she probably does know I'm going to say that. But, you know, all credit to her.
Well, they're going over the top of the climbers. They go underneath the banner Category 4. Big sprint coming from the 3 riders. Montoya taking away top spot there on the sprint. So Montoya from Majewska, from Heiborg, then Krasova being followed by Stemmen. They're your 5-point scorers in Category 4 at that sprint point. And taking those, it was Idzik from Warren, from Sudabayo, from Wilhelm and Co. They're the point scorers in Category 5. And in Category 6, Hamilton, Hadjuk, Almeida, Hermansen, and Stevenson, the 5-point scorers in Category 6. Category 3, though, our last set of riders away so far. Category 2 and Category 1 still to come. We're in with Angelina Roa at the moment. Roa, you can just see very focused there, tapping that rhythm. They've gone over the top of that climb section, dropping down. Riders have been distanced here, not maybe as many as the previous, so going with that sort of prediction, Emma, that the trend will be that we see biggest splits in the lower categories because it's relatively a harder climb for a lower category than it is a higher category, and then we'll see less and less riders being distanced at that early stage.
Yeah, and it's a short climb, and like you say, the higher categories 1, 2, and 3 are far less likely to have any gaps, maybe just 1 or 2 riders, and that's exactly what we've got here.
Yeah, I have to say, I would identify as a Category 10 rider, I think, by how hard that climb feels for me and how far off the back of the group it would be over the top. It is,
Nice and punchy.
hard. Yeah, you think a punchy climb would suit my riding style, but no, I always seem to suffer there. Maybe just because it's so early and I don't do a proper warm-up whenever I've been on that race route.
Ah, telling.
It is
this is a course where you need a good warm-up.
It is, and I think that there's a degree of that playing out as well with some of the riders maybe not. And some riders just go better later on in a race rather than early on. One rider who's going very well already, Catherine Montoya, with that sprint kick. Good to be in with Montoya. Once again, a very, very fast rider, quick kick, real snap, I always think, and got that leg speed as well. I always see the avatar and think whippy rider, sort of real zip rather than pure grunt power.
Well, at the moment, she's got a look of concentration on her face, because take a look on the top right-hand corner. Multiple groups of Category 4 riders. Montoya in the mix with the leading group with Schultz, Downing, Herrera, Haibor, are in there as well. Tompkinson is there, so is Sisioka. Kawazuska is there. Stenman is there as well. It is, it really is breaking the group. And that could well be not just because we are going first across the line, but because of the course we're on. And the pace is moving strongly.
5 sets of riders behind the leading group of Category 4 riders. You can see that we've got Category 6, 5, 4 and 3 on your screens, represented by those different coloured jerseys as well as the numbers on the back, the number representing their race category. Category 6, for example, in purple with the golden 6 on their back. If you see a rider in all one colour, whether that's green or in a polka dot skin suit, so that's the shorts and the jersey, that means that they are the leader in the sprint or the climbs competition today. That climbs competition made up of 1 climb, the sprint competition 4 climbs, 3 of which are before the main climb of the day, 1 of which is after. This is this big rise that takes you up and out of the dip from the aquarium sprint checkpoint heading towards the outer loop sprint checkpoint.
Well, I can tell you at the aquarium sprint checkpoint, it was Trudy Stevenson who was first across the line from Monica Hadjuk. So real competition because Jessica Hamilton was first across the line at sprint checkpoint 1. She was a long way down at checkpoint 2. So that competition, the sprint checkpoint competition, is really going to, be quite open at the moment in category 6.
It's it's going to be very, very wide open today. I think you're not going to see
different in category 5.
Rider sort of dominate. Yeah, category 5. I think you've got the almost force of nature that is the willpower of Natalia Ridzik.
She's strong. She's strong enough to top 5 or top 8 and take the sprint competition.
She certainly is, and I think she does it on willpower. You can see she goes beyond what most people would go into just to get those results. Now, Liliana Silva pushing off on the front here, just leading out here, cycling District 3.
McKay's
on the front, McKay's gone over the top, and Horner. Horner's been sprinting strongly. McKay's been right up there. Miller's there, Lam Kong also in the mix. Kong goes at 8 watts per kilo. Can she get onto the wheels and through quick enough? McKay still with Horner as they come in here. McKay's holding this. McKay powers right the way through, over 10 watts per kilo, right in and through the line there. That was not easy. That is going to cost some energy because that was a
push.
Big rip down there. Will we see a counter attack at this point? I don't think anybody's going to have the legs after that wind up. And whether you were going for the sprint or not, the speed pickup was so great. You had to really accelerate up.
Well, with Kimberly Miller in at the moment, you can see the effort that she had to put in to stay with that move. She's going up and over the top. But can I just tell you, the category 3 pack have gone through, and we've seen that big push from Helen McKay and Sabrina Horner, as well as Kong, Miller and Daniels. But the category 3 pack not moving to that point as quick as the category 4 pack. So that is interesting in itself. But, it really was a bit of fire under those wheels to push through for McKay and Horner. And it is indeed McKay who has that green sprint skin suit in category 3. As we watch category 6 go into the 3rd sprint checkpoint, and take a look at this. There was nothing, no push. The pushes come really late from the leading group. Just 2 riders wanting to contest it, Manon Holtman and Trudy Stevenson. The rest of the group content to roll through.
Very interesting there as they go underneath the sprint there. That little kick on the way through. The Absolute Bridge sprint being taken by Manon Holtman, taking 5 points. Stevenson taking 4. Naves taking 3. Solorzano taking 2. And Fanushkan Sarasu taking 5th place and 1 point.
Yeah, and Almeida, Limbaga and Botero, the rest of that leading group of 8 riders.
8 riders in contention now for the rest of the points, realistically, and the rest of the prizes from that 12.5k marker onwards. That climb out from the aquarium of reaching that stage. Now, let's dive across. We're ready to go with more of our race categories. Category 2, the penultimate category to go. Abus Esports, 2 riders for them. Thompson and Roach. Riot are represented by 2 riders, Anna Russell and Kirsty Heber-Smith. And the core squad by Gonzalez, Hakkinen and Giovanni. They have the strength in depth, but I think Riot have a secret weapon.
Well, welcome to the Sunday Race Club, Anna Russell and Kirsty Heber-Smith. From Riot, 2 riders for the Riot squad, 2 new riders to the Sunday Race Club.
New riders, experienced riders, what will they do here today? It's time to go racing in category 2, this same race route. 35 kilometers of racing, 593 meters of ascent. We're in with Madana Degamashandi as the riders leave the pen here. The penultimate race starting our women's race is go. And it's time to head out onto the course. Who has done their warm-up right? Who has got the legs to stay with the group as it goes over the top of that first climb? Who will be in contention throughout the sprints on the way in to the finish? tight left-hand turn, and then we are going to do this little run in. You've got a little bit of a dip here. It just picks up a little bit of speed, but then very quickly it comes back off again. And it goes from 3% descent very quickly into the ascent here onto the climb, already at 2% and climbing. You can see that Madana Degmashani going from zone 2 to zone 3, now into zone 4. That's on the top right-hand side of your screen. That's the level of effort relative to that rider's overall performance. So when you're on your absolute limit, it's 6, and when you are cruising along, having a very nice easy spin, it's zone 1. So it's relative to each rider as well. So you'll see different riders at different speeds and pace at different zones. Rutty Reese at the moment just kicking into zone 6, then easing back down, just making sure she stays in with the group. And this is much cagier for me as they make their way up here. A cagier start from category 2. They're doing 30k an hour at the moment, but we're not into the top of the climb yet when the speed has come right off. I think we're going to see potentially these riders just kicking hard at the top of this climb to go over the top. And you can see Sarah London here really, for me, just cruising around at the moment. Plenty in reserve there. You can just see the hands really relaxed. Those fingers just relaxed, holding on to the top of the bars there. The body language, it's all very fluid.
It's a measured effort.
Yeah.
She's zone 4, zone 5, just covering the moves and making sure she stays in the pack. She's not pushing to the front. She's doing exactly what she needs to do, but no more. And she's ensuring she stays in the draft and knows what numbers are in green.
And although those zones are flicking up and down there, depending on the power, I think there was a lot of modulation there. There were very short bursts of very high effort just to get that kick to modulate it in. And I think that was represented in those zones there as they go through.
And very, very quickly back down to zone 1.
Yep. Sign of being very fit.
Recovery.
Good recovery is a sign of good fitness. Now, category 2 on the way down here. We're in with Jennifer Gothlander. Now, one of our regular star performers, it has to be said, in category 2, and I think she'll look forward to this. She's raced her way through to category 2. I think she's going to look forward to this because of 2 things. One, you've got a very segmented race. You've got a race basically of 3 sections to me. You've got the very first part, which is the run to the climb. You've got the climb itself, and then you've got the run to the finish. And I think because they're very, very clear blocks, I think that'll suit her riding style. She can put everything into 1, reset, then into 2, then into 3.
I think this is a really good course for her because the type of climb that it is, the fact that it's 3 clear steps on that Canberra climb really does suit someone like Gothlander with that strong power. Anna Russell, Maria Marb, Sophie Giovanni, Mina Coinston, all in the mix here. So is Hannah Hakkinen. They are all there. Amanda Paulson is there. Dana Davidson, Katerina Karamani. Everybody is rotating in that group really, really strongly. And there is Gothlander on our screen. And it is her stats. You can see her. Kate McLeod is in here. And do you know what? One of the things I was thinking when I was looking at the start sheets today, do you know we've got a lot of gravel riders in here? People touring the world, gravel racing and racing the Sunday Race Club. Hayley Simmons, one of them. Kate McLeod, another one of them, both in this category. Hayley Simmons, I've had the pleasure of riding a team time trial with Hayley Simmons on MyWhoosh. She is part and parcel of the Full Speed Events team time trial squads. Excellent. Great to see her. She's also part and parcel of that Ribble UK gravel racing team.
Yes.
With Sophie Wright, who took a win in Lithuania. Touring the world, doing gravel racing and Sunday
race. A very, very strong squad. But we'll have to see if their riders are strong enough to get themselves into Category 1, who are the last set of riders away. Category 1, well, we have our strong teams, and they are regularly represented here by the same riders, really forming into strong squads. We have the breakaways, at least Gallegos in there representing the breakaways. Cycling District 1, Anna Caramello in there for CD1. We've got Supernova, that's Van Hove and Tomasi. They've got 2 riders. Sweat Sensations have 3, Guerra Foot and Mayer. Aberlock International, though, they have strength in depth. 4 riders, the numerical superiority of Kolchinsky, Hermansen, Soderstrom, and the world champion, Mary-Kate McCarthy. McCarthy take another win here today on a very different course to last week. It's time to go racing the last of our waves of riders away. Category 6 right the way through to Category 1 away on the Women's Sunday Race Club here on MyWhoosh. Qualifier number 1 of 4 qualifiers in August, with the final coming at the very end of the month. You can see Category 2 sweep through, take the right-hand turn to go under the tunnel. Category 1, they turn left. Time to go up into the hillside. And if Emma's prediction is true, not one of these riders will be dropped on this next climb.
Oh, I don't think they will. But interesting to see we've got the riders in the mix. Joanna Kalman is in here. She won't get dropped. She's got power. She's got pace. She's got determination and resilience. She has got everything she needs to stay in the group. Bridget Falensky, Tomasi Colquitz, Belforth, Emma Belforth back on the Sunday Race Club. Fabulous to see her. I think that's someone getting ready to qualify for the World Championship. She did make that final last year in Abu Dhabi. Who else from this group is going to make the final in Abu Dhabi? Because I tell you, some of these women will be there on that stage, battling it in the final 20 for the World Championships in November. Will Emma Belforth be back? Will Joanna Kalman make it for the first time? Lizzie Brooke is also back on the Sunday Race Club. The last time she was with us was in June. And Julia Klein is in the mix as well. December 2024, the last time we saw her.
So Joanna Kalman, that we were just in with, I'm just going to drop back to Joanna Kalman, moving up from Category 2 to Category 1. I think welcome to your rightful home, Joanna Kalman, because I think she's got the potential to be up there challenging in time. It's going to take, it's like anything, it's a case of diminishing returns, that you make those early gains very quickly. That last little percentage is going to come towards the end. Moving from Category 2 to Category 1 is Kalman. We're back in with Category 2, where she's just left with Goslander fighting against Svardström and Walkenhurst, but it is Anna Svardström who takes away the first points in that sprint competition in Category 2. Svardström taking top spot from Goslander, then Walkenhurst, Gonzalez and Lucas rolling along in fifth. They are your 5-point scorers from the first sprint, and that is in Category 2. They are the fastest through that checkpoint at that point in time as well.
Well, and interesting to see that Charlotte Lucas is in there, coming up from Category 3 to Category 2. Also, Kirsty Heber-Smith is in there as well, coming into the Sunday Race Club for the first time. And also Anna Russell in that leading group. And I tell you, it's a big group of Category 2 riders going through. 30 Category 2 riders going through that checkpoint and in that leading group.
And we are in with Anna Svardström, a rider who I'm sure will be racing in the World Qualifiers for Sweden. Sweden, a very strong esports, cycling esports nation. They are one of the
women.
Fantastically strong. Really interesting to see how they've developed that, how they've made that work. A really great result for them would be to take away a win, but they're going to put a lot of riders, I'm sure, in there. The qualification details are out, but if you are not likely to be selected by your nation, or if you're not sure, you need to ride the public qualifiers, because the public qualifiers are happening. They happen on Wednesday. The first one is this Wednesday. Yeah, the very first of our public qualifiers on the MyWhoosh UCI World Championships. So the World Championships are underneath the umbrella of the UCI, the governing body of cycle sport worldwide. The first of our qualifiers is on Wednesday. You need to get entered into them if you want to be in there, because basically you need to get entered. If you get entered and get selected by your nation, no worries. It means your place will roll down, I think, to the rider. The next rider's down. Is that correct?
Yes, it is indeed. And entries closing 72 hours before the start. So Wednesday this week is the first open qualifier. There are 3 further open qualifiers throughout August. So 2 early August, 2 later August, and then obviously the national qualifiers, etc., running through as well. It's going to be a really, really exciting August.
And the rules essentially are very similar to the Sunday Race Club rules in terms of what you need to have to move on through. So getting that, make sure you got that power passport in there. Make sure you're ready to raid, that your kit is absolutely spot on.
Doesn't race matter with you, on MyWhoosh.
Yeah, and race on MyWhoosh. Really, really important. And one rider who I'm sure we're going to see competing is Nicole Mayer. And there's different time zones for the qualifiers as well. So
I can tell you, she's already qualified for the semi-finals as part and parcel of the USA selection criteria. Top 3 riders from the national champs go through.
Congratulations,
Nicole Mayer goes through to the semi-finals. The first rider on our screen with a big smile, because she is a semi-finalist already in the World Championships.
Quite rightly. And I think the United States squad, we saw them use amazing team tactics in the men's race at the World Championships.
Oh, you've got to watch the women this year.
I think this year it's going to be switched up another gear, and it's going to be the women that are going to really be throwing some team tactics down, because I think the strength in depth that they have now is only going to continue, and I think that's going to build year on year,
Well,
particularly the way that the
so
national allocation is and selection is.
yes, so the USA is the only nation with 10 men and 10 women's spots. They have 20 national spots for the World Championships this year. And I think USA Cycling this year will bring a full squad to the semi-finals. It is going to be so interesting because tactically they were dominant in the men's final last year. And I think if they can bring that tactical awareness, that strategy, that planning to both the men's and the women's, they are going to be a nation to fear at those semi-finals.
And that is a good point that you made in as part of that, that when we go into the competition, we're going to see Catherine Furr, medalist at the 2024 UCI e-cycling esports world championship finals. To get there, you have to qualify not for the finals, but you qualify for the semi-finals.
Can I just
and those allocations come from public qualifiers to go through, and from national representation, national selection to semi-final, not to the final. Then you've got to get through the semi-finals to get into the final.
Well, at the moment, we're seeing a big push going here in the Category 1 race. It's Mika Soderstrom who's pushing on. She wants that green skin suit going through the first checkpoint, and she's going to be rewarded with it. Bridget Flensky is chasing her, but she's not going to close down that gap to Mika Soderstrom. Now, Mika Soderstrom, really interesting rider. Not only is she the Swedish esports national champion, she's also the Swedish road race national champion. And she's going to be a future guest on the Virtual Fellow podcast as well.
Oh, I'm sure you're really looking forward.
I am so looking forward to
there.
having a chat with her. I really, really am.
I'm part of that Swedish squad, part of that strong squad. Just taking a look here at those winners. So these are the times to that checkpoint, the Sydney Sprint checkpoint. You can see Soderstrom with a 7:03 there. Not the fastest time, in fact, only the third fastest time here. But that means that they've been saving energy. Svartstrom goes through for Category 2, McKay for Category 3, Montoya for Category 4, Idzik for Category 5, and Hamilton for Category 6. Mick Soderstrom's time, in fact, only the 35th fastest time, showing that Category 1, although we are expecting it to play out differently, Category 1 are doing that same tactic to some degree, that they are using their energy where much more tactically, it's less high pace everywhere and more big bursts of power where it's required.
Yeah, and you've got to remember, Category 1 is so well matched and so tightly matched that the differences are minuscule.
There's no real benefit, is there, when you attack in Category 1 if you're not going to go anywhere, and because it's so close, it's even more difficult to get away.
Well, it is. Seba Al Ray is the rider on our screen again, and now she is digging in hard. You can see her pushing at the moment on our screen, and Pamplona, the only rider to go with her. This is the This is the Canberra climb on the outer loop course. They are at the 17.2 kilometre marker. They have got 3.5 kilometres of this climb still to go, and you can see they're coming to a flat section, a little bit of respite in the climbing. Huge, great push from Al Ray. The Category 5 race field, well, the two leaders, Al Ray and Pamplona, have worked their way up into the top 10 on the road. Just the 7 riders ahead of them in Category 6 on the climb. But Al Ray and Pamplona really well matched here. The gap to Maria Wilhelm and Helena Santos now, well, 13, 14 seconds. Gabriella Marshall is there as well. So it is a good sized chase group, but those two riders clear.
And Seba Al Ray, her last victory. She's had 2 victories on the Sunday Race Club. The race that she's taken victory, Hedera Ascend and Telma Reeb. So not monster climbs, but decisive climb. So very, very interesting where she's taken the victories before. Very similar to today's course, I would suggest. Okay, so category 3, left-hand side of your screen, just coming in to that climb. Category 6, leaders on the very top of the climb. Navies with Limbago, Sarasu, and Almeida with Stevenson in there. Solazano is at 9 seconds and Botero at 16 seconds. They really have opened up the gap. So Limbago, Naves, Sarasu, Stevenson, and Almeida making a 5-rider lead group. We're in with Juliet Naves at the moment, and you can see really pushing those pedals around, making sure she stays focused. You can see her staring intently at that screen, and you get a really good idea here what our riders get to look at when they race and what you would get to look at if you were riding on MyWhoosh. It's very similar to what you see as a spectator and a viewer.
Yeah, it is indeed. And this pack now pushing strongly. The chase group from the leaders in category 2. You can see those 2 blue jerseys just behind Stevenson, Almeida, Limbaga, and Navarez, the 4 riders at the front of the category 6 race, being joined now by the 2 riders at the front of the category 5 race. And it's a really big push here from Al Ray coming towards and going over the top. She is indeed taking Pamplona, and Pamplona, both of those 2 riders go straight over the top. The question is, will any of those category 6 riders try to join the 2 leaders in the category 5 race? I think looking at the numbers, the answer is no. There is a clear distinguishing gap between the power that these riders are pushing at, and Pamplona and Al Ray have pushed on hard to go clear of that category 6 group. They'll settle back down once that gap is established, but really nice to see that there. A big push to go clear, settling back down, clearly seen in those numbers.
The chasers trying to come up to them. You can see them in the background behind those 2 riders who are pushing so hard. But the moment we've got the front of the race, it's category 5 now, overtaken category 6 behind. Well, at the moment, the leaders in category 4 are on the way up this self-same climb. They're coming into that flat section where we saw that push, that charge across from the category 5 leaders. So they're not that far behind. Currently, it's 17.1k.
And there's 9 riders in that group. Sisioka, Hadlock, Hill, all riders we know climb well. Hyde is there, Krasova is there as well. Heiborg is there. These are riders we know are going to go up this climb strongly.
And what they do here is so decisive. Your phrase, Emma, you've got to treat the top of the climb as the finish of your race and then go
course,
again.
Yes. Completely and utterly this course. You've got a 14-kilometre run from the top of the Canberra climb to the finish line, downhill and majoritively flat, completely draftable. So you do have to treat the top of this climb like the finish line. And I'll tell you what, we've got another finish line in front of us at the moment, and that is the sprint checkpoint for the Aquarium Sprint. And this is category 1, and Mika Soderstrom and Bridget Walensky going head-to-head again. Mika Soderstrom taking it and confirming those additional points in that competition. Walensky sitting in second. But now we see the times that the category 1 riders have gone through that checkpoint, and they are now the fastest moving race field on the course at this point. Mika Soderstrom, 13 minutes 1 second to that point. Gotland category 2, 13:03. Sabrina Horner category 3, 13:14. Hill category 4, 13:13. Natalia Idzik category 5, 14 minutes dead. And Trudy Stevenson leading through category 6, 14 minutes 32.
So whereas last week, category 1 were the 3rd fastest pretty much halfway through the race, if not into the latter stages of the race because at the bottom of the climb, this time around, category 1 have gone from 3rd fastest at the first sprint to being the fastest riders on the road by the time we get to 9 kilometres in, instead of being at 30k before they managed to get to open up the throttle. So clearly a little bit more aggressive racing, a faster race. I think category 1 using that power, looking for the opportunities, maybe the kick into that descent and into this climb to have a go.
Well, 21 riders in that leading group in category 1. Brooke is there, Miros, Kalman, Kulczynski, Lethbridge. We didn't mention Alice Lethbridge coming up from category 2 into category 1. She joined the Sunday Race Club in category 3 and has very quickly made progression.
Yeah, really interesting. Alex Lethbridge, a rider who was down to start a lot of the national crit series in the UK, but focusing on the cycling esports
Yeah.
instead. So really interesting to see that paying off, and congratulations on moving to Category 1. We're in with Veronica Cicioca, another rider who I'm sure is destined for good things, because at the moment looking very strong here in Category 4 in the selection. And you can see behind these riders on the top right-hand side of your screen, centre of that radar view, the point upon which it's pivoting, that is the leading group in Category 4, and behind there are multiple groups of Category 4 riders already distanced, and riders starting to be pushed and drop back. You can see the back of this group is not where you want to be. So hard to stay in this group at the moment. The aerodynamics not playing a huge part, but at the moment looks like 10 riders on the way up this climb, and the riders at the back have to stay very, very focused. You can't let that gap go. The moment you go to the flat, the front of this group, that long flat section, it will accelerate up, and that's where the gaps will go. You'll not get back on if you're not careful. That is where you've really got to get close.
So can I ask a question?
Go.
And this isn't a cycling question. Does Australia have crocodiles or alligators?
Crocodiles.
Okay, well, that's crocodiles then by the side of the road. I just saw them mooching up the climb alongside the riders and thought, yeah, it has crocodiles, not alligators. Just had to check.
Crocodiles and alligators do coexist in parts of the world. So you can get
you
both.
out.
So you can get both. So Florida's a great example of that. You can get crocs and gators as well in those temperate zones, in the middle zones. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Not one of those things I've really thought about before.
Well, I only think about it in terms of not getting bitten.
So where do you go in the world if you're going to get bitten by a crocodile or an alligator?
Nowhere near them, hopefully. Nowhere near. I'm not sure my sprint speed's good enough, particularly if it's anywhere near water. We will see. Okay, let's go back into our racing rather than trying to be the next David Attenborough as Katrin Nielsen.
Oh, look at the gap.
Yeah, that is a good push. 9 seconds from Lip and Sanchez. And we've got this little flat section
behind.
Here. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. This push, it's early, but you've now got another steep section. Have this group let the gap go too far? We saw, was it Holly Bergen? Did I see last week Holly Bergen took the climb segment? Am I correct in thinking it was last week? I'm pretty sure it was. She took a climbing segment. Really, really proud of that, and going quite rightly so. But today, you've got a rider going clear on the front here with a gap now. Emily Nyquist looking pretty cool, calm, and considered there at the moment, so certainly looking like she's chilling and
well, I think
there's
some communication going on. Bulwara and Nyquist are real part and parcel of that Riot 3 squad. They really are pushing on strongly, but now the pace picks up again because the gradient has picked up as well. So Miller, Vasquez, Bergin, Daniels, Bulwara, Real, all in the mix. Emily Nyquist on the back of the group, pushing on now to come in, but really starting to move. And the riders, Amory, Lip on here as well. This is a really good sized group, you know, in Category 3. They are 2.5k up the climb. Don't forget the climb is 5.4 kilometers, so they are halfway up. The steepest section is to come. It really does kick. This midsection is quite steep, and so is it right at the very top. But this is a really good group. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 riders I am looking at the moment in this Category 3 race, all still in contention. Liliana Silva is the rider who is off the back of the group, and she's 29 seconds down.
And we just saw Barbara Ballara in there, rider who I'm sure would love to take that victory. She's got a third place and a second place. As they have made their way around the courses over the course of 50 participations in the Sunday Race Club. I'm really interested to see how she goes today. She's been progressing really, really well. She was moved from Category 4 to Category 3 during the course of June, between Qualifier 2 and Qualifier 3 in the June races. Consistently in Cat 3 all the way through July. And her best position in Category 3 so far is 4th place.
Well, the Category 3 pack continuing to push, and Miller really getting into a rhythm at the moment with the rest of the group as Category 1 at the 12.4 kilometre marker. Yep, it's Mika Soderstrom on the front again. The Swedish rider, adamant she is taking those sprint checkpoints today, and she picks up number 3. Bridget Falensky this time, not contending. The push now coming on from Amelia Van Ho, Francesca Tomasi to close down the gap to Soderstrom, because you don't want her to go away. She is dangerous. Interestingly, though, this time round, Category 2 got to that point quickest, only just. Mika Soderstrom going through in Category 1, Anna Svanström leading through Category 2, Anne-Marie Lipp leading through Category 3, Catherine Montoya leading through Category 4, Natalia Idzik, she's led the field the whole way, pretty much like Mika Soderstrom in Category 1, and Manon Holtman leading through Category 6 at that point in the race. Well, this Category 1 pack continue to roll and roll strongly. And Jay Atkin, who's come up from Category 2, right in the mix today.
Well, you see Mary-Kate McCarthy, one of our overall riders, just taking on board some fuel that looks like a gel being squeezed there. So that's some more energy into the tank for Mary-Kate McCarthy. Good timing by our team to go in and the World Champs jersey. Just blowing in the breeze there, the sleeves just being blown back and forth, but McCarthy looking pretty smooth.
Fuel and hydration, absolutely key. And we are just dropping in with the world champion doing the business.
She is indeed. So good to drop in there with Mary-Kate McCarthy. So I'm just going to take just going to go back to a little point there. You said that in that sprint that we'd got a kick for the front, and Soderstrom had taken it, and Filensky not contesting it. Filensky not in the leading group going through over the top of the climb. Filensky, in fact, went over in 81st position. And so I think that's probably going to be grist to the mill of those people who say that the sprint competition basically is only for sprinters until it goes uphill, which is a bit like a Grand Tour.
Well, Catherine Tompkinson on the screen at the moment. Will she be part of the MyWhoosh Grand Tour? The MyWhoosh Championship's coming up later in August. I do hope so, because she's such a strong rider. Look at the way she is climbing. The concentration on Kath Tompkinson's face, absolutely brilliant. She's part and parcel of that Category 4 race. Gina de Gracia and Catherine Montoya are ahead of her on the climb. But she's climbing really, really strongly.
She is always a strong rider, really, really tough stuff, and looking very good at the moment. Will she be able to get herself right onto the heels of Gina de Grazia just in front? Majuska is behind. A real break now. Lots of very strong riders being broken by this climb as they go up here. The leading riders really have accelerated at the front, and it's left riders chasing all the way through, riders who we know could be in the mix. There's a long way down, and to some degree, you don't want to break this group too much. De Grazia and Montoya at the very front here, looking good. The question for me here, for these two riders, is: do they push on? Do they wait for Tompkinson? They're not quite at the summit top yet. I think you've got to make that decision closer to the top, whether you wait, because you need volumes of riders. It's a long way, as you said, Emma, from the top of the summit for 20
It's 14 kilometres. And what you have to remember is, because of the nature of the starts on the Sunday Race Club, the later starting categories will catch riders, and then they will be able to get into the draft, and those gaps will close. So there is a really good question there, Matt, as to whether you wait for a rider, form a bigger group, and then you travel quicker with the view that actually you stay clear. Well, Category 1 and Category 5 on our screens at the moment. Category 1 at the 14.8 kilometre marker. Steady pace at the moment. Zone 2, we're in with Kate McCarthy, the world champion, Catherine Fuhr, Lisa Hermansen, Kristen Kulczynski, all riders who were at those world championships with Kate McCarthy last year. Steady state on the way into the base of the Canberra climb. It is going to get spicy when they get there. At 20.4 kilometres, the Category 5 pack are the leaders on the road. Seba Al Rey and Camilla Pamplona have not been split on the climb. Fabulous climbing from these two riders. They're going to go over the top of the climb together. One of them is going to push on, because one of them is going to want the points in the climbing competition. There is only one climb today, and this is it. It's a Category 2 climb, and the points available are going to not just see us with a winner in the segment, but a winner with the climbing competition overall. And Al Rey is pushing at the moment. She's adamant she wants it. Pamplona Pamplona is going. It's a long run out, actually, at the moment. There's still 200 metres of climbing clear of the checkpoint, but Camilla Pamplona has gone early. The question for me is, can she hold it? Can Al Ray come back at her? They've still got 150 metres to go to the checkpoint. Al Ray now picking up the pace. Al Ray now trying to close that gap down. She knows she's got the time still to do this. Pamplona knows she's got to hold on, but the gap is coming down because Al Ray, now she can see the polka dot banner, is the rider absolutely dialing this. This is Al Ray and Pamplona going head to head in category 5. This is phenomenal racing, and at the moment Al Ray has blown. Look at her in her pain cave. She's up and out of the saddle. She's pushing on. That hurts, and we've all done it. And so Camilla Pamplona, the rider, now pushing onto the polka dot skin suit. She's going to take that as she goes underneath the banner. That was phenomenal racing between those two riders.
Pamplona there, you can just see the revs there ticking along over the top. Very quickly comes off the power though, because I think she'll want to see Al Ray come back onto her wheels. Two riders at 42 seconds behind Pamplona. Then the next chasing group, 1 minute 25 back. So that race really is a race about now. It's a pursuit. You've got two riders with 42 seconds, then two riders, and then 1 minute 25.
Well,
so a big group.
Camilla Pamplona has just come completely off the power.
Yeah.
She is taking a massive, massive rest. She's now just started spinning her legs again. She is definitely waiting for El Rey.
You'd want to. You want at least two riders, because what you don't want is 1 versus 1 versus 2 versus 3 plus, because that's going to be the strength in depth behind, and the distance is going to be there.
Well, Heiborg and Ciesiolka, the two category 4 riders going head to head on the climb. Maria Holmarsson is the rider in 3. She's 7 seconds back. There is still time for her to come back and close the gap. But with 400 meters to go, it looks like we've got two riders in category 4 going head to head for that polka dot skin suit as well.
So will it be, which of these riders will it be? Just taking a quick check as they go up here. Ciesiolka out of the saddle, just dancing on those pedals, still looking nice and fluid. Still got some bounce as you go through, and that's generally how you can tell when the riders are bouncing as they go out of the saddle. There's still energy in there. When it becomes a grind, that's when the energy generally has started to go, when riders are starting to struggle. If you can stay on top of it and stay dancing, keep those keep that bounce, just keep that spring there, you're going to make everybody else suffer, because you're pushing in that little bit stronger. You're getting a little bit more out of it. Great riding here by Ciesiolka, but Heiborg is not giving up by any stretch of the imagination. She's coming behind. You can just see coming into camera shot. Heiborg goes onto Ciesiolka's wheel at nearly 4.5 watts per kilo. Ciesiolka picks it up, kicks again, and this is all about this run for those points in the climbs competition to take away the climb segment and the climb overall. This is a big kick. Ciesiolka goes again well over 5 watts per kilo. This is punch and counter punch. It is kick and counter kick at the moment. Which kick will work at the moment? It looks to me like Ciesiolka has got the timing right. She let the rider behind Heiborg go onto a wheel, expend as much energy as possible, lets her get there, and then you kick when they've expended the most energy. You don't kick before they get to you. Just as they get on your wheel, that's when you go again for maximum advantage, maximum psychological advantage. Ciesiolka doing that and kicking on really strong. 6, now 7 seconds to Heiborg. What a move. Great ride. And now she's going to kick over the top. This is going to be the climb competition sewn up well and truly by Veronika Ciesiolka in category 4 on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It's qualifier 1 in August.
Well, the polka dot skin suit is about to go on to the shoulders, there we go, of Ciesiolka as she goes through, and I know she's going to hit the descent very, very shortly and recover till she gets there. Larissa Heiborg gave her a run for her money on the climb, but didn't quite make it. Maria Halsmalson is there. Isabella Kawazuska is there. Those are the riders who are going to be chasing behind on the descent and the flat. And well, we could well see them come together for the finish. Now back in category 3, they're at the 20.4 kilometre marker, 300 metres to go for Emily Nyquist. She's caught Katrin Nilsson and gone past. So we've had a bit of a switch there. She's now got a gap back, 9 seconds to Nilsson, 16 seconds to Daniel. Bergin and Lip are there as well. It is great, strong racing here in category 3, and Emily Nyquist is the top of the tree at the moment. she's on the hunt for that polka dot skin suit. And Nielsen, well, Nielsen for me has not given up yet.
No, don't discount Catherine Nielsen. She's just pushing here. That gap is 10 seconds. So I suspect she'll get back together with our leaders to go over the top. Nyquist, though, looking strong, but there is still distance to go. It's deceptive. That banner is in sight for a long time on this climb. It can very easily turn around. You only need to have gone too deep, but I think Nyquist has got the experience, she's got the skill, she knows what she's doing, and I think she's got this timing to perfection. She'll go over the top with enough of a gap to the chase behind. You can see Nyquist here out of the saddle, just turning those pedals around again, just bouncing it around, kicking it through the bottom of that pedal stroke, flicking that pedal backwards and round, really going forwards on that body position as well, all the way over to the line. It's going to be Emily Nyquist who's going to take the climb competition today in category 3. She goes underneath that polka dot banner, and that 4.5 watts per kilo, I'm sure, will be eased off as she goes down. Now, bit further back down the climb, going into the bottom, we've hit the base of the climb, and look at this, Guerra and McCarthy have gone uphill.
And Fuller
yes,
with
please.
Alberg. And Kolchinsky all in the mix. That was the gradient's going up, and we are going. 4, 5 chasers, 2 riders going clear. Gabby Guerra on the front, Kate McCarthy, Nicole Mayer, Catherine Fuhr, Kristen Kolchinsky, Camilla Olberg, all in the mix. They are absolutely dialing this as they go into the base of the climb. We said category 1 hadn't got there the quickest, but they're definitely going to take the climb the fastest because Guerra, McCarthy, Fuhr, Mayer, Tomasi et al. They are about to light the fire, and the fire is under the wheels of Guerra and McCarthy at the moment. Catherine Fuhr 3 seconds back. They are not out of this yet. This is 3-stepped climb. Big push, recover, big push, recover. The recoveries are not long, but they are there. Olberg at the back of that group now in trouble.
And that's, for me, where the group behind need to be smart here. You've got McCarthy and Guerra, Gabby Guerra on our screens on the left-hand side here. These two arch rivals knocking chunks out of each other. You can see that the course profile to the right-hand side there of Guerra, they're onto the climb. And if those two keep battling each other, they'll be going into the red. They'll come out, they'll go in, they'll go out, they'll come in, they'll go out. That plays to the advantage of riders like Catherine Fuhr. You can see her out of the saddle here, tapping out that rhythm. If Fuhr, Kolchinsky, Mayer, Tomasi and co can ride as a group together to keep that strength in numbers together, but not give more than 10 seconds at the most to the riders in front, they've got a chance. That what they can't afford to do is let that go to 15, 20, 30 seconds by the time they get to the top. So they don't need to respond to every move, but they do need to keep them close. Fu are doing the job at the moment on the front behind. Tomasi and Kolchinsky trading places as they try and stay with the leader. You can see Alberg in there as well, but Van Hove now has gone. So has Gallegos. Tomasi in the mix here, really working to stay with this group. And what a group. Mayer, Tomasi and Kolchinsky. They've got Fuhr there. If these 3 riders can stay with Fuhr can keep that gap down and they minimize that gap. These two start battling each other on the climb. Then, to me, they've got a chance. If these two ride at a steady, consistent pace, don't take too much of that top end out of each other, then it's going to be much more difficult. Another kick as they go up on here, but the watts per kilo is holding around about 6 to 7 watts per kilo.
I was just listening to you say if they don't take too much out of each other. What, McCarthy and Guerra?
Well,
I mean, come on.
Yeah, but they're both master tacticians as well. You don't get to be the best in the world without
so strong. They will absolutely
good.
Fight each other tooth and nail on this climb. It will be a right ding-dong. McCarthy and Guerra. Guerra 7.4 watts per kilo. Absolutely adamant, closing the gap onto McCarthy's wheel, going over the top of McCarthy. These two are going to stay together unless one of them can do something about it. The gap now opening big. It's now 18 seconds back to Catherine Fuhr, who is setting a really strong rhythm. But that really strong rhythm is a regular rhythm. These two riders on the front, punch, punch, punch. Funnily enough, when they're not punching, they're still moving at 6 watts per kilo.
Yeah, I think you and I are both going to have to disagree on what we're seeing there for a change. Nothing new there. We all see who's right at the top, who's got the energy left when they come over the other side. So, Rachel Brown one of our new riders up against Gorea, Hakkinen and Koistonen at the moment in Category 2. This is a long train of Category 2 riders all the way down. So it's a very different race to that sort of select group on the front of Category 1, and to some degree, Categories 4, 5, and 6 that we've seen as well. Category 3, where we've seen these individual riders really break it up.
Well, Rachel Brown on the Sunday Race Club has been here once before.
Wow.
This is her second ride on the Sunday Race Club, and take a look at where she is. She's right at the fore of this race here with Gorea and Hakkinen, Koistonen and Vittori. Mina Koistonen, cracking ride today as well, and absolutely brilliant to see her right up and in the mixing Category 2 on her return to racing. But Brown, Gorea, Hakkinen and Koistonen, the question for me is who is going to take that polka dot skin suit at the top? Any of these four could do. And Sylvia Gorea now coming up and over the top of Rachel Brown. Hannah Hakkinen not out of it, and neither is Mina Koistonen. Sarah Roach is a little bit further back down the road, but now we are really starting to see the two riders push on, and we're still seeing two riders push on in Category 1. We've got McCarthy and Guerra on your screen together. Look at the pain etched over McCarthy's face at the moment. The concentration on Guerra. Both riders up and out of the saddle, pushing here on this climb, both battling to get to the top. And McCarthy on the top of the screen at the moment. She's in that rainbow jersey right in front of us on the bike. Guerra continuing to dance on those pedals with help and support in that pain cave.
Losing time though, 11 seconds now the gap from McCarthy to Guerra, and I think the battle here has been more subtle maybe than we would have expected. McCarthy has kept a pace that Guerra can't hold. Guerra at the moment holding 5.6, 5.7 watts per kilo on this section of the climb. McCarthy's holding 6 to 6.5 consistently, and for me that is now showing with that gap going out and starting to come clear. So really interesting to see those two. Is this a crazy move though, because they're going to separate each other? They're not going to have any help on the descent. They will be one rider v whoever's left behind, which might be four riders. That's a dangerous tactic. And yes, it's a qualifier. You can gamble. That's a nice position to be in, to be world champion and gambling at the front of the race. But is it that much
There's
of a
no
gamble?
Gambling.
You
There's no
think
gambling.
That's not a gamble at all?
You know, we all know that Kate McCarthy considered a really strong time trial pace for a very long time. You know, she's a cracking time trialer, both on esports and out on the road. We know that's one of her strengths, climbing and time trialing. She can sit and hold a pace. Now we are coming towards the top of the climb, the Canberra climb segment. That's the polka dot skin suit. This is Category 2. Rachel Brown was in the lead last time we saw. Sylvia Gorea was the rider chasing her. It's the other way around right now because Gorea is about to go underneath the polka dot banner. Can Rachel Brown do anything about it? I don't think she can. So Sylvia Gorea in Category 2 is going to turn into a polka dot skin suit wearing avatar. There it goes. And Rachel Brown coming through in 2. Those two riders are going to push and work together. And I tell you, the rest of the Category 2 race field are not that far behind. But Kate McCarthy is the rider moving up through. She's got Charlotte Lucas, the rider who's moved from Category 3 to Category 2 just ahead of her. My spies tell me that Kate McCarthy suggested to Charlotte Lucas she should join the Sunday Race Club.
I wonder if she'll give a shout of support on the way past. Those 9 seconds are going to be eaten away very quickly indeed. Looking back from Charlotte Lucas at the moment, the rainbow jersey, the world champions jersey, making its way up behind in the shape of Mary Kate McCarthy, the New Zealand rider, now at 7 seconds. It's coming down and it will continue to do so towards the top. As you come around that right-hand turn, it's such a long view of the summit. You can see that banner from a long way out. That's sometimes a good thing, but my goodness, it don't make any difference to McCarthy whether she see it or not. She's still on that same pace, 6.5 watts per kilo nearly as she goes past Lucas. It shows you, and look at the effort here. This is not just racing. This is pure, superb, top class, full on gold level training going on right in front of our eyes. This is what wins you world championships. It's not just racing it. She doesn't need to go this hard. She's doing this because this will improve her next week and the week after and the week after, in the run through the MyWhoosh championships, in the run to the world championships again. This is what pays off. Working hard when you don't necessarily need to do it for the win. This is quality. in action in front of you. Mary-Kate McCarthy, the world champion, goes under the polka dot banner. What a ride up that climb. Held that pace all the way over. Now drops to 5.5, quickly up to 5.6, drops to 5.2. So she's going to hold around
Bit
about
of
5, I
recovery.
think. Recovering at 5 watts per kilo.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? But Kate McCarthy goes through that checkpoint, and take a look at the times now. And that's what the climb has done and the differential between the categories. So Kate McCarthy goes through 39.14. Sylvia Guerrero goes through ahead of category 2. Emily Nyquist goes through at the head of category 3. Veronica Ciciolka goes through at the head of category 4. Camilla Pamplona, we saw her go through, fabulous battle, goes through at the head of category 5. And Fanucikon Sarasu goes through at the head of category 6. Fabulous to see her there. She's a strong climber, and one for me we haven't seen much of recently. Well, McCarthy now on the descent. She's going to start picking up riders. Seba Al Rey and Camilla Pamplona on the right-hand side of your screen. They're at the 4 of the race, 31.6 kilometres into it. The two of them back together again. And Al Rey, well, she is now in front, and the polka dot skin suit of Pamplona in the draft behind. Now, for anyone who's interested, that draft, 5 metres is what you've got.
If you need 5 metres, you got to be within 5 metres. Sebra Al Ray going through the sprint there, taking the checkpoint at the Canberra sprint. That was at 31.3. I think the after effects of that was the gap that we saw there to Pamplona, because these two are our leading two riders behind. Wilhelm and Santos still in 3rd and 4th place. The gap currently holding around about the 24-second marker. Then you've got just over a minute to the rest of the riders in category 5. Category 4, right-hand side of your screen, you can see that Heiborg at the moment has a gap to Ciciolka of about 5 seconds.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because those two haven't come back together again since that climb. Heiborg has caught her. We saw Ciciolka go over the top of the climb, and we saw Larissa Heiborg was behind at that point in time. Heiborg has obviously decided now is the time to go, whilst everybody else is recovering and not pushing on the descent and the flat. Interesting choice. So Ciciolka with Kawazuska behind at 7 seconds. And that category 4 race getting interesting because the push is now coming to the sprint checkpoint.
And I think this may well be why we've seen Heiborg go down that descent and go off clear. They come into the sprint checkpoint. But look at this. You've got a big push coming alongside, and that is going to be from Isik, from Ciciolka, who goes in through behind. So just really interesting. Heiborg goes underneath the banner. She's just up in front here of Ciciolka. Ciciolka's got Hermansen and Kawazuska. And Kawazuska and Hermansen have come on very, very quickly. As it came around the left, right-hand turn left as we look at it, coming onto our screens, that was really interesting. They've really pulled that pace back now. Back in with Heather Shanks.
She's on the wheel of Kate McCarthy. Come on, Heather. How long can you hold? Stay with the world champion. That's it.
What a place to get caught as well on that downhill. I mean, brilliant.
What a wheel to follow on the descent. It really is good. And at the moment, we've got Alicia Fielder, Heather Shanks, Kate McCarthy, Susanna Lopez, Category 6, Category 2, and Category 1. All together just shows you it is possible, but it is an absolutely fabulous place to get caught by the world champion and to hang on to that wheel.
Yeah, get down into that aero position, try and hold the wheel, stay in those 5 meter marker. You can see it's also being done here. Susanna Lopes doing exactly the same here, along with Shanks. These riders really trying to stay in. This is very, very key for the front of the race in terms of category 1, with McCarthy going clear and extending her lead at the front. That gap opening up to over half a minute now, I think, to Guerra and co behind. But look at this. It really is helping out the riders behind who are being picked up by McCarthy. And those riders, if they can hold on, are going to get some advantage. But as is McCarthy, you can see McCarthy at the moment just getting a little bit of a break there, because as they come down, she's just hanging on to the back of that group. And that means she's taking some advantage. You can see McCarthy's Watts numbers are hovering into the green there as she comes in and through. That means she's getting that draft advantage as well. So that means she's going to be bringing her heart rate down. She's
well, it has.
4.
It's come down. So Kate McCarthy's heart rate has dropped 20 beats since that
Yeah.
climb. So she's had significant recovery on that descent, ready for the run into the finish. Well, Guerra is on the screen on the right-hand side. She too is taking some rest on that descent and setting herself up. Do you know, they're not, well, they are. Well, I'm trying to work out the difference between where they are on the road. It is around 850 meters, the difference, extended because of the descent and the pace to which you'll travel on the descent. Guerra is traveling just shy of 70 kilometers an hour at the moment. It is going to change and it is going to shift because McCarthy's going to hit the flat. The next rider ahead of her, well, that is Anna Russell, Ruti Rees, Maria Marb. It's a big pack of Category 2 riders that the world champion McCarthy is going to come up onto next.
And this is where Shank's going to stay with her. She's going to bring herself right back into contention. Just taking a very, very quick look across into Category 3 at the Canberra Sprint.
Yeah.
As they came through, Emily Nyquist, who had led clear over the top of the Canberra climb, was in 5th position. She'd been brought back. Nielsen, Daniels, Bergin, Lip, Nyquist, Real, Vasquez, Miller, and Bulawa. The 9 riders in Category 3 who've gone through the Canberra Sprint on the way in towards the finish. Much closer to the finish, Category 5, Seba Al Ray. Ahead of Pamplona, Al Ray on the left-hand side of your screen in that blue jersey, holding 4.5 watts per kilo here. Pamplona trying to sit in the draft here as they take the right-hand turn. Now, this is a tricky finish. If you've not seen this finish before, straight down here, left-hand turn, and we're into that finish. You can see the banner around the left turn. It comes very quickly. You've got to get the timing right. You've got to sprint at the right time. Pamplona has the advantage of sitting in the draft. She's going to be able to see that kick. What's Al Ray going to do? She's at 5 watts per kilo now, really pushing on. Pamplona's just holding with momentum here. This is Pamplona's kick, comes up 4 watts per kilo. She's lifting it slowly but surely. They come round the turn here. Al Ray's holding it. Al Ray's going to take victory. Surely it's a Seba Al Ray takes the win here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club Qualifier race and 1. The arms are in the air. It's a win for Al Ray, a 2nd place, and the climb competition for Pamplona.
Wow. Well, the Category 5 race is done and dusted with a sprint finish, no less. Well, this is the Category 4 race, and they are around 1,200 metres away from the finish. And we've got 2 riders together here. We have Larissa Heiborg. She's in the Category 4 race. She's actually riding with Natalia Idzik in the green skin suit, who's in the Category 5 race. And Heiborg has indeed worked her way up into that chase group in Category 5. Veronika Ciesiolka and Isabella Kawazuska 20 seconds back. So it's looking like that push from Heiborg into that final sprint checkpoint, making all the difference in this Category 4 race.
And she's got Itzik there as well in that mix. So really interesting. You know Natalia Izzik's a strong rider. If you saw Izzik in front, you'd go for it, even if she's not in the same category. So let's see what's going to happen as Kawazuska, Ciesiolka and Hermalsen are the chasing riders trying to close down on the lead rider. And you can just see our riders here as Izzik along with Heiborg are the riders up the road by 21 seconds. Really interesting here. So the red jersey is Heiborg in Category 4. Idzik, the strong rider, in Category 5. Veronika Ciesiolka, along with Kawazuska and Hermalsen, trying to get back across into this descent. Heiborg surely knows that she's just got to get the timing right. Not really. You'd have to mess up big style to lose 16 seconds.
In 200 metres?
Yeah.
Definitely. Heiborg and Kawazuska and Hermalsen are going to be fighting it out for 2nd and 3rd. But Larissa Heiborg is going to come round the corner and see the finish line. She's in Category 4.
So here she comes. This is going to be your Category 4 win for Larissa Heiborg. She goes in underneath the banner. She pulls on the yellow skin suit as the winner overall. This is the sprint for 2nd place. Ciesiolka's wound it up early enough to take that momentum surely to the line. It's going to be Ciesiolka who's going to come through. She takes 2nd place. Hermalsen will take 3rd. Kawazuska is going to take 4th place. The battle will be on for 5th. So Heiborg from Ciesiolka, from Hermalsen, from Kawazuska.
Well, I'll tell you, Category 3 are coming in with 400 metres to go. Katrin Nielsen is leading, but just ahead of Bergin Daniels. Two riders chasing. Nielsen in one. Bergin and Daniels, the riders chasing. They're at around 9 seconds. How much can they close this down? Can they launch the sprint early? What is going to happen here? This is the final corner.
So coming into that left-hand turn, left-hand screen, Katrin Nielsen, the rider in the blue jersey, is the leader in Category 3. She's going to come around this corner with clear air. It's still 7 seconds back to the chasers. She's going to hold on. It will indeed be a win for Katrin Nielsen in Category 3 on Qualifier Race #1. It's going to be a second place for Holly Bergin after the run in that sprint, closing the gap down. Bergin in 2, Daniels in 3.
Wow, what a race. Category 3, not disappointing either. We drop back in with Kate McCarthy. She's at the 30-kilometre mark of 5K to go. She is around 20 seconds out from a big group of Category 2 riders. And that is going to be interesting to see if she can close the gap down. At the pace she's moving at around 5.7, 5.8 to 6 watts per kilo. The pack ahead are moving at around 4. She should close that 20-second gap down. This is the group up the road. This is the leaders in the Category 2 race. They are around 800 metres ahead of McCarthy. And this is the push for the Canberra sprint checkpoint. And it is Sylvia Guerrero who's pushing from Rachel Brown again. Mina Koivunen in the mix. So great to see 4 riders, Guerrero, Brown, Häkkinen and Koivunen. These 4 riders still clear.
So Guerrero, Brown, Häkkinen, and of course, the 4 riders in Category 2 who are clear. We've still got Category 1 rider on the way in. We're just going to drop in with Palma Mongeli, one of our regular riders that we see on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race, one of our Category 4 riders. You can just see that group just in front of her. And this is a real target for her, I think, to keep them in sight as long as she can. She's going to tap out that rhythm. She won't want to get closed down by the riders behind. This is that leading group on the way through in Category 2 at the moment. And they are going to be battling it out for that win. Guerrero, Häkkinen, Brown and Koivunen. Guerrero in the polka dot skin suit. That is for the leader in the climate competition. Well, now winner in that climate competition.
Well, I'm having a little problem sat here in the studio today.
Really? Do you want to share this on air?
I'm feeling like I really wish I was racing my bike. If you too are feeling like you really wish you were racing your bike and on the Sunday Race Club, there is so much you can do to join the MyWhoosh Racing in August. You've still just got time to join the MyWhoosh Championships. Today is the last day you can get your entry in for that 8-day stage race, 7 days of racing, 1 rest day in the mix. It is going to be epic with a capital E, and I am so looking forward to it. Even though I'm not racing it, I'm just going to watch it, but it is going to be absolutely brilliant. But if you want to join the Sunday Race Club, all the information is there on mywhoosh.com under the events page. Click on the Sunday Race Club. All the information you need to join is there if you're feeling a little bit like me and wishing you were on your bike at the moment.
Well, Kate McCarthy on a bike just going in through the Canberra sprint ahead of Gabby Guerra. McCarthy will take the 5 points from Guerra's 4. The position is pretty much a case of alley ejecta S. The die is cast. It was cast on the very early slopes of the Canberra climb. And since then, really, those positions unchanged in 1 and 2 in terms of the race and the segments thereafter. However, behind Catherine Fuhr at the moment has got a gap to Nicole Mayer, about 17 seconds.
Yeah, but you know what's really interesting? There's 500 metres between Kate McCarthy, the gold medal winner in last year's World Championships, to the silver medal winner, Gabby Guerra. And there's 500 metre gap between the silver medal winner and the bronze medal winner, Catherine Fuhr, who's about 500 metres behind Guerra.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
What's that for 3 languages in the space of about a minute? We're doing good so far. Okay, let's dive back into the racing. Right-hand side of your screen, you can just see Koivunen at the moment just pushing on here. Häkkinen in here. Brown is in here. Guerrero, though, distanced, I suspect. And at the moment, this is a big push. That climb, as you come out, there's a little riser that they've just come over the top of, and that has separated these riders out. It's an early push, and it's pulled these 2 riders clear at the front. That's Häkkinen, who's gone clear with Koivunen on her wheels. behind. The gap has opened, and it's opened really quickly. Just taking a look at that gap, it looks like that has gone. Meanwhile, in with the riders, we're in with Sophie Giovanni, Dana Dega-Mashandi, Sarah Roach there on the left-hand side of the screen. They are seeing the fast approaching rider. That is McCarthy coming up on their heels. It shows you how fast she's going. So McCarthy at the moment about to catch the group that's headed currently in 27th place by Sophie Giovanni. Hakkinen at the moment pushing on from Coyson and from Brown from Gorea. At the moment, the gaps are sticking. We're at 33.8k on the right-hand side of your screen. That's the lead of Category 2. The Big Chase group in Category 2 currently at 33.3k, and that is also where our leader in Category 1 is, in that polka dot skin suit as the climb segment and climb series winner.
Well, Mina Coinston not in Hannah Hakkenen's draft at the moment. You can see that because her watts on that white bar are black, not green. She really needs to push and dig if she wants to get into that draft, which is where she needs to sit if she wants to be in contention in 800 meters time, because that is all they have left in this Category 2 race. But Hannah Hakkinen continuing to push, and I tell you, she is pushing really strongly on the front there. The power coming out of Hakkinen stronger than Coinston at the moment. Hannah Hakkinen could have this sewn up, but I tell you something, the two compatriots at the fore of the Category 2 race, the race behind coming in hot at the moment, because it's just 11 seconds to Rachel Brown and Sylvia Gorea behind them.
So here we go. This is that rundown. We've done the T-junction, the right-hand turn. So sweep in left, 90 right, right-hand turn at the T-junction. Come down, it's a 90 left. Coyson is coming. She winds up at nearly 6 watts per kilo. Hits over 6. Chasing Hakkinen in front. Hakkinen is the rider with the green jersey in front. Coyson is bringing the momentum. She's bringing the pace. Will she be able to bring it onto Hakkinen? Hakkinen, though, is kicked at 8 watts per kilo. Hannah Hakkinen takes victory in Category 2 on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club, qualifying number 1. Behind her, going over the line, Amina Coyson takes second. This is the run for the line for 3rd and 4th place, and Brown is going to hold that momentum that she had round the corner ahead of Quintera. I think that is going to be your top 4 in and over the line in Category 2. Hakkinen from Coyson, from Brown, and from Gorea. As around the right-hand T-junction turn comes Mary-Kate McCarthy, soloing to another race victory here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. The world champion, absolutely looking as strong as ever. And what a ride by McCarthy here today. Went clear on that section. She doesn't need to contest this sprint to kick in to the finish. Mary-Kate McCarthy, the world champion, showing just how strong she is. She's going to take her 35th win on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club out of 52 participations, and a phenomenal strike rate for the world champion, taking the win in August in qualifier race number 1.
Well, Kate McCarthy coming over the line. Behind her, it's Gabby Guerra, and she's not going to be long till she sees the finish line. There she is. She's on the final straight. She'll take that left-hand corner and go underneath the banner. She is well and truly clear of the chase behind in 3rd. And then the race for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Well, Tomasi, Kolczynski, and Mayer are there.
So here comes Gabby Guerra, 2nd place at the World Championships in 2024. It's going to be a 2nd place here today. Her 23rd second place in 47 rides on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Always in on the podium. Phenomenal podium rider, but at the moment giving the best to Mary-Kate McCarthy in qualifier 1 in August. As round the right-hand turn comes the bronze medalist from Abu Dhabi in 2024. Catherine Fua showed her strength on the climb, and this move really, it was set on that climb, wasn't it, as we came into the outer loop?
Yeah, it was indeed, and we saw her climbing and climbing strongly. I tell you, she's pushing and pushing strongly. We talked about McCarthy using this as training, but so is Catherine Fua at the moment. Strong ride, big sprint, that's what's needed, and Catherine Fua coming over the line in 3rd place today. Francesca Tomasi has broken away from Mayer and Kolczynski. Tomasi is going to push, and she is going to come around the line for 4th place today on the August qualifier 1 on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Tomasi in 4th today, and it's going to be Mayer and Kolczynski battling it for 5th, but Maya has gone clear of her compatriot Kristen Kulczynski. So 5th place today goes to Nicole Mayer.
So Francesca Tomasi adding to a fourth place to make it 5 now. A rider who's consistently in the top 5 now and needs to just break in to the top 3, going through ahead there of the riders behind Nicole Mayer taking 5th, Kristen Kulczynski taking 6th. The riders on your screen.
Well, I can tell you, Kate McCarthy also took the course record today from Merle Bruni. The previous course record, 57.35, 56.55, a new record at the top as well.
Mary Kate McCarthy with that new course record, 44 seconds ahead of Gabby Guerra in 2nd place, 1 minute 25 down. Catherine Fuhr in 3rd, then Tomasi in 4th, Mayer in 5th, Kulczynski in 6th. Then you've got Hackett, Custon, Brown and Guerra, the first 4 riders in Category 2. And that's as they finish at the moment. All the results are live on the MyWhoosh.com website. Make sure that you catch up with all of those on there. At the moment, they are provisional and they will be verified before they go onwards. So do make sure that you keep up with those. Download the app on iOS, on Android and on Windows, whichever works for you. Get on and ride. We have been here for the women's race. We're here for the men's race as well. That's going to be kicking off in 30 minutes time with Category 6 in the men's race. We'll be back in what is going to be approximately 24 minutes time or so, 25 minutes time or so. It depends on how accurate my watch is today. We are going to be back bringing you all of the action from the men's race. In the gap, why not jump on board your computer, get in there and get your entries in. You need to enter today. Today's the last day to register for the MyWhoosh Championship. Get on board, get your registrations in. You've got to do it today. We are so busy typing our entries, if only we could, that we can't say goodbye. So do you know what? It's time for us to head off to go make sure we enter everything else that we can get into on MyWhoosh. So we're not going to be putting words to the action. Myself, Matt Payne and Emma Martin and all the team will be back in 23 minutes time. We'll see you then.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So hello and welcome back to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Welcome back to Qualifier race number 1 in August. We've just been reviewing Emma Martin and myself, Matt Payne, the women's race that we've just been putting words to the action for, and looking forward to this, the men's race, Qualifier race number 1. Also in pretty much the same location, and really sort of teeing up and quite thinking about how it's going to change. Emma, take us through the course.
Well, we are in Australia for the men's race today, as well as for the women's on the Outer Loop course. Both riders, both racers racing the same category, the men and the women. The men, however, 45 kilometres of racing, 666 metres of climbing. I do like that number. They come out of the start pen through the Sydney Sprint checkpoint, then into the Canberra climb at the 15.3 kilometre marker. It is the only climbing checkpoint on the course today. And when they get to the top, they descend through the Canberra Sprint checkpoint, the Wollongong Sprint checkpoint, and the Melbourne Sprint checkpoint. So if you are not at the top of that climb, like it's the finish line, there is no way you are going to contend those sprint checkpoints today. Then there's the run to the 45 kilometre mark, and yes, it is a downhill run to the checkered flag today. 24.3 kilometres from the top of the Canberra climb checkpoint to the checkered flag.
So basically, we've got in front of us the same course that you've just seen in the women's race. If you've watched it, if you haven't, make sure you go back and watch it. It was absolutely thrilling. But then there are a further 10k bolted on the back of the course, basically, which are a relatively innocuous set of bumps on the way through. But as Emma said, will we see a breakaway? Lots of chat on and points on the live chat on YouTube. That's the platform that we look at. So if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget you can get in touch live on there. Do put the points on there. We won't always read out everything that is on there, believe me, or answer everything that is on there, but we do our best to answer what we can. And don't forget, you can always get in touch with @biking_Emma or @MattFixPaint on Instagram as well. Same 6 categories that we had with the women's race, the same in the men's. A staggered race start with category 6 going 5 minutes ahead of category 5, who are 5 minutes ahead of category 4, 5 minutes ahead of category 3, 10 minutes between categories 3 and 2, and then a 5-minute gap between categories 2 and 1. Category 1, our last set of riders away. Our first set of riders away here in August. In the men's competition will be category 6. So category 6, lots of riders riding for teams in men's category 6. BMC High 6 with Scretton and Cridland. BMC 6 with Wakefield, Trooper and Olsen. The BMC 6s, Bain, Back, Fossiard and Farrow. Cycling District 6, well, that's Silver, Level Carbon. They are here with Fiedler, Lloyd and Rooney. MAGA, they are Brito. We've got Rabdan represented by Ibrahim. Spinergy are also with us as well. That's Bertree, Abbott and Llewellyn and Wheelie's racing team. Well, they have strength in depth, a bit like the BMC 6s. They have 4 riders, Bianchi, Nielsen, Kozal and Teron. ZTBI, we've got Ramos and ZTBI Yanamani, Silva and Vaz. A huge number of riders in there, but this is a big race field. You can see them across your screen heading out, squeezing their way underneath the gantry in category 6.
Well, 69 riders on the start sheets in category 6. It is our largest race field. And Marius Fossiard, the rider we're in with at the moment, right at the front of the pack, he's the course record holder in category 6 on this course. Back in June, he set the fastest time. The only other time we have raced this course this year of 80 minutes, 49 seconds in category 6. Can he or another category 6 rider beat that today? Well, you've got around 80 minutes to find out.
And with it being a big pack, the first, even when it's whittled down on this first kicker that we seen be so decisive in categories 6 and 5 in the women's race, even if you break this group down to half, you've still got a huge group coming over the other side of this climb. This is the first kicker that we come to. This is the first test. This is the first section where it breaks, but we've already, in fact, in the run-in, lost 3 groups of riders off the back before we even hit the base of this climb at 500 metres. We're up to 700 metres of distance covered. We're in with Bianchi at the moment, and we're on to the climb. This leading group getting stretched, and 1 or 2 riders at the back really now under pressure. They've got to stay on the wheels, because as soon as the leaders go over the top, they'll start accelerating up. You can see nearly 600 watts being put down by Adekanye as he goes up this climb consistently. 550, 560. It makes him a move up to the front. His avatar heading towards the front, but it's going to be Cridland who's going to lead them over. Cridland, Gacek, Murtry along with Bianchi, Adekanye, Rooney, all pushing over the top here. They all want to be here. In with Michael Adekanye, some big power coming out of Adekanye as he went over that climb, but he's in exactly the right place. He's in that right position, in that leading the group.
And this course for me is all about being in the right position and making sure you're in that leading group. And there are certain points along this course that you have to treat almost as the finish line, that being the first one, if that is the first selection point. Look at the tail on the top right hand side of your screen. That is one huge tail to this group at the moment in category 6. They're going to drop down. Then there's one more climb before the Canberra climb. The 3 climbs before they get to that 21 kilometre marker, really, really key. And those are the things the riders have to focus on today. Well, all 69 riders have not made the first selection point. You can see the stretch on the back of the group. But we do have some really strong riders in here. Peter Connell, who took the win last week, is here. Toro, Rooney, Montoya and Milano. They were your top 5. That was a phenomenal race on the Jebel Hafit, and very different to today. The climb comes much earlier today. Big climb last week towards the end of the race. The climb comes, well, within the first half of the race, it's over. So it really is a race of 2 halves today. Race hard, three climbs to get over, to get to the halfway point, and then from the halfway point onwards, it is draft.
Nice summary.
Thank you.
So, category 6, descent off the top done. Lead group clear. Lots of riders behind already being distanced, and now I'm going to find it very difficult to pull back this group. There's 5 meter tail on the back of that pack that you've got to get into, and they're a long way behind this, and unless you have more riders, you're going to really struggle to get into the race group. Really struggle to get into that race field that are going to be leading through. And remember, all the checkpoints now are first across the checkpoint. That means you've got to be at the front of the race as you hit the checkpoint. Who will be at the front of the race in category 5? Well, will it be one of our team riders? BMC Get Racing have Agudelo and Carvajal. BMC 5, Neville Ross and Vaham. We've got Cycling District 5 with the biggest squad of 5 riders: Murato, Tapia, Marencio, Castro and Sicilianus, as well as Dodaro Esports joining them with Alex Asenio. First also part of our squads with David Young as Christoph Vitzia going in. Level Racing, last of the riders with 2 left, along with Upcycled. Level Racing with Allport and Warren, Upcycled with Dromard and Mayard. Level Up have Kirk, Mountier, Roy, Kendall and Pedersen, ZTB Arturus, Dotto, Vinter and Fabra, and MPCC team Patrick Mortek. Time to go racing in category 5 on August qualifier race number 1. Away we go. Another big race field.
Well, it is indeed a huge race field. 58 riders on the start sheets today in Category 5. Same number in Category 2 and Category 3. 58 is the magic number today. Well, amongst that magic number are some magic riders as well. Last week it was Gonzalez, Abello, Brambati, Streel and Hagland. They were your top 5, and Warren took the sprint. Well, which Warren? You may ask me, because there are 2 Warrens in Category 5. And last week I put the call out to ask whether the Warrens were related. Well, yes, the Warrens are related. Father and son, Ola Warren and Joel Warren. Joel Warren being led out on those sprints by Ola. We are in with Ola Warren at the moment, and he's right at the front of the pack. Joanna Warren also races too. Joanna and Ola are Joel's parents. 2 generations of Warrens racing on the Sunday Race Club, loving family racing on a Sunday. absolutely superb. So, if you are a racing family who are out and about on the Sunday Race Club, do get in touch with me at biking_Emma on Instagram. I would love to hear from you. Well, at the moment, Luke Allport, that's the rider we do hear from sometimes, and he's pushing on the front. And I'm sure he's going to be trying to make those World Championship semi-finals again this year, and we're going to look forward to his participation in the Open qualifiers later this week. Well, Allport, Svart, two riders dialing it on the front, and they are doing the damage to the Category 5 pack as the Category 6 pack go through the sprint checkpoint.
Ronnie Olsen with that gap of 3 seconds to Marius Fossier. Then it's Bianchi Escobar, Phil Yarvin, the points 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 as these riders go through. Olsen taking the 5 points. You can see that on the top left-hand side of your screen. Then 4, 3, 2, and 1 points respectively up at the top. So going through the sprint there. Those are the results of sprint number 1 for our riders going in underneath the banner there. We're going to drop straight in with Luke Allport though in Category 5. The Category 5 riders about to come around this right-hand turn and looking like a big train of riders at the moment. This group's still a good sized group.
It is indeed, and Category 5 really motoring. And for me, that's one of the really interesting things with these new checkpoints. Rather than timings through the sprint, first across the line of the checkpoint, really does give us an indicator as to how the race field is moving in comparison to another, and which race field is moving quickest at that point in time. And often it's not the one you expect. Well, Polaka, Reinheimer, Allport, Pence, Dromard, Holm, Gaviria, Van Ham, all in this pack, and it is stretched a little, but all coming back together again. It's looking like off the back of this main group, we've got 3 smaller groups, and in fact, it may be that we see the one rider distance close that gap down and get back on, but the 3 smaller groups behind, I think now that is done.
Yep, they need to get themselves together as a group and chase hard. The next little ascent actually comes after the sprint section, the Sydney sprint checkpoint. Andrew Neville Ross, right in position, very experienced rider here on MyWhoosh, a regular rider who we expect to be right up in contention. You can just see tapping out that rhythm nicely, 85 revs per minute, heart rate currently 147. So sitting in zone 3 at the moment, just holding position in the pack. You can see a really steady watts numbers there, not varying by very much, 227 to about 244-ish. Just the odd push to squeeze up to get near the front. You can just see that there's a little bit of a rise coming in, but these riders will shortly be taking the turn back underneath the tunnel and heading in the direction, the second part of the city, going out from the park and into the city. Let's go across from Category 6 and 5 to Category 4, our next race starters. The BMC squad represented by Joannes. So we've got BMC racing by Pino and Giuliano. Cycling in District 4 with Pieria, along with Level Golden for Rimburg and Philo. Peg Power Racing, well, the Pig Power Racing Van der Zandt. We've got Rasmaki for Ride Club Finland, and the Anzacs represented by Robinson. A small, compact and bijou field of riders in the team competition compared to another big race field in totality.
Well, Jakub Wojciech in the mix today. He took the win last week with Hernandez, Quiroz, Matteo Pino, and El Alami. They were the top 5. They are down there in that pen. Final seconds ticking down as the outer loop in Australia is where they are heading. And head they do out of the start pen and across the boardwalk. They're going to take the left-hand turn. Well, it's a right-hand turn actually first because of where they are in start pen. And always get caught out by which categories where. While the Category 4 pack are dialing it on the front, and it's Nicholas Spratt and Johan Moreno who are pushing hard. Golden Boy himself, Eric Rimborg, is right there too.
Well, this is reminiscent of the old hitmen of Category 2 way back in 2023 and 2022. Big kick off the front, Spratt, Rimborg, Moreno, all riders we'd expect to be up there, but Johan Moreno at the moment with that kick on the front, Spratt quickly drops into his wheel. These 2 riders making it hard from the get-go, strung out. Now, if you didn't watch the women's show, you won't know that Emma's prediction is that this first climb breaks up the lower categories, categories 5 and 6, more than it breaks up the categories above. If that were to follow in the men's race. We'd expect to see one or two riders off the back here, very few, and next to nobody in the higher categories. But that was a blistering pace in Category 4. In Category 5, you can just see these riders currently at 4.3k. And the moment this is absolutely being dialed here as they head in towards this checkpoint. So here we go. Big sprint coming in. They're going to go underneath the banner here at 4.6k. The riders go in underneath, and it was Warren who's taken that. So the riders go through Warren, followed by Kriwanos going in through there. But on the line, it's Warren, Murato, Ivanov, Kriwanos, and Ola Warren. So two of the Warrens, Joel and Ola, taking top 5 positions.
Well, Johan Moreno, resplendent in that fabulous MyWhoosh jersey. I'm just jealous. I'd like one. But he looks absolutely brilliant. And, of course, the jerseys, part and parcel of the MyWhoosh Championships in 2023, the MyWhoosh Championships in 2024, coming later in August from the 12th. Looking forward to seeing Moreno there. And many other riders as well. 7 days of racing over 8 days. One rest day in the mix. And surprise, surprise, the rest day is a Sunday. No rest day for the commentary team, and I bet no rest day for some of the riders, because how many of those MyWhoosh Championship riders will indeed race the Sunday Race Club as well?
Wow, indeed. I mean, no rest at all. Riders do training, we do prep work. You add up the amount of days of prep and the amount of competition, we're not going to be getting much sleep in between. Neither are our riders as well. I'm sure if we're going to see Mohammed Mokhtari in there, he's going to be battling his way through the whole of the championships as well as the Sunday Race Club. He's a rider who just absolutely fine. And look at the pace.
I was just going to say, the pace on this Category 4 pack is absolutely motoring. And we've got a small group, and that did indeed split the group in Category 4. And at the 2.2 kilometre marker, well, they are dialing it. I mean, this is one big push really early in this 45k race. And it's really interesting to see how the first across the line is changing the racing. We were talking in the women's race about the Jebel Hafit last week when it was first introduced, perhaps not being the course that will show us those changes straight away, and that we may need to roll it out this week's course, next week's course as well. The men are on the 7 Gems Loop next week, and that's a fairly flat course for the men, just a couple of short, sharp, very short climbs. And I think that's really going to change the nature of the racing. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this change rolls out on the Sunday Race Club. But JJ Miller on the front of the group. Daniel Kadir, 7 watts per kilo at 2.8 kilometres. They are still nearly 2k from that first checkpoint.
And this is the way to get rid of riders, is to just keep hammering on the front, keep that pace hot. If you know you can keep that pace hot, you're going to be splitting the group. If you can pull that group apart before you even hit the first big descent and up to the climb, you're going to be there. The team tactics will be playing a part in that when you've got big squads. And today we've got a big squad from 2 teams in Category 3. Cycling District 3 have 5 riders: Brignall, Almeida, Johnson, Andrade and Coimbra. The level golden squad of Rushman, Morgan, Lane, Solly and Mercedes. So 5 riders for both those squads. The rest of the squads, 1s or 2s. Anzacs have 1 in Bloom of BMC Racing, 2 with Brooke and Barrett, BMC 3, 1 in Zanatti, Sandstorm, 1 in Niall Batty, Team Velos Chile, 1 in Cabrera, and Stewart with 1 in What's Up. It is time to get the What's Up. It's time to hit the pedals. It's time to hit the roads of Australia's head out on the outer loop in Category 3. The last group of riders that have a 5-minute gap between them and the group in front until we get to our last group, Category 1, because the next gap is 10 minutes long between this race start and our Category 2 race start.
Well, in Category 3, we've got 58 riders on the start sheets today, and a really great mix of riders. Now, last week it's Kiernowski who took the win from Montoya. Oya Squilari and Goitex as well was in there. Alfrey is on the front at the moment with Bloom and Kalman. Squilari is in there, so is Ivo Sur as they're coming into the base of the climb. And whilst we watch them on the climb, I do just want to put a call out, because one of the riders not on the start sheets today is Nicol Kansara.
Yes.
A regular racer in Category 3.
Yep.
And I want to say congratulations to Nico, because he got married yesterday to Katie Bago, who races Category 5 in the women's race.
Awesome.
So a Sunday Race Club wedding. I do like them, and they do happen. We have had them before, and it's always a point of celebration.
It is indeed. Well done to them. Well, one man who can't take his hands off the bars to celebrate is Matthews Kalman. Kalman here in category 3, up near the front of the group, out of the saddle at the moment, just tapping a nice rhythm out here, focused on the front there, just making sure that he stays in with these leaders. Kirsnowski going up there. Kierski with Kalman, with Shaw, with Brignall, with Iglesi. They're the riders up at the front, and they are dancing the way up here. The rest of the group in close attention and not starting to lose any riders. Kalman over the top, gets a little bit of a breather, has to wave. Morning, Matthews, or afternoon, evening, wherever you are.
I'm loving the fact that Marvin Angarita's on the front. Marvin Angarita, the rider from Colombia, often on the front of a tandem.
He is pilot of a paratandem.
He is indeed, and he will indeed be heading to Belgium to the World Paracycling Road Championships
in Reims.
At the end of August.
Yes.
At the end of the month. And so full bore training. He's right at the 4 of the Category 3 race at the moment. And Alfred Stenman, Bombacci, Brune, Squilari, Barrett and Amaro all up there with him.
At the front of the pack rather than the front of the tandem.
Yes, but on the front.
Nick Scolari, one rider who we've no surprises to see up near the front. I'm sure he is going to be paying close attention to what happens, not just here on this run into towards the descent, but also as we go down the descent after the Sydney Sprint checkpoint in the first little climb rather than a bump. The first climb to climb out from that depression and then climb up towards the Canberra climb start itself. The Canberra climb checkpoint to come in. The top of the checkpoint comes at 20.7k, but it's 5.4k long. So you need to get to that 15k marker in with the group. If you're one of our climbers, you've got to stay in the pack, and that is absolutely key. This is the leading pack in category 3 at the moment. Pretty compact, not looking like it's going to break apart. I expect the next fireworks to come when they get to the 4.6 kilometre marker. Category 3 at the moment at 2.3 kilometres. Category 6, first of our riders out on the race route, then Category 5, 4 and 3 on route. Category 5, the left-hand side of your screen, being led by Vladimir Toro. Category 3, the lots of our riders to lead the pen so far.
Well, they are indeed, and the small pause in the studio was supposed to reflect the small pause in the Category 3 racing. Interrupted by Matt, and nobody tried to sprint off the front, so nobody tried to interrupt the pack, but Walter Clay's tightly in the pack. Walter Clay's one of those riders who I really, really rate. Often you don't see him come out of the pack at all until it counts. And when does it count? At the finish line. He is a great racer, and his strategy is phenomenal. He could be really one to watch today because he can seriously unleash a sprint at the end and get his timing to perfection. Well, Clays could well be one to watch today. Stenman is in there. Andrew Rushmer is in there. Ivo Sur, he's one to watch as well. Also, some new riders coming into the Sunday Race Club. A lot of new riders coming into the Sunday Race Club, and it's really great to see. Last month's July final, we had 317 men in the Sunday Race Club on the start sheets. Today, 330. Biggest race field ever on the Sunday Race Club in the men. Henry Yeast needs to just dig in a little bit, get back on. Not one to panic. He's very much a regular on the Sunday Race Club. Dark outside his window. He might have a South African flag, but he is in the Australasia region of the world.
He is New Zealand, if I remember correctly, in fact.
Yeah, he's nodding, so he's listening to you.
Good. There we go. And my memory is just good. It is still working.
Which is why it's dark outside, because it's night time.
It is indeed. This is, in fact, his 102nd Sunday Race Club participation.
Oh,
well over 100. Well done, sir.
He's a centurion.
He's indeed a centurion, a rider who has hit the 100 participations on Sunday Race Clubs. And if you think that they're every Sunday, that means that he has been riding now at 102 for nearly 2 years straight in terms of Sundays. He's dedicated to Sunday Race Clubs.
I know. The dedication is phenomenal from our community. And if you want to join that community, head over to mywhoosh.com. head to the events page, so /events. If you scroll down, you'll find the main Sunday Race Club page. If you click on that, you'll find the rules, the regulations, the technical guide, everything you need to come and join the party on a Sunday. Well, the Category 3 party is a light, and that's because they're coming to the first sprint checkpoint of the day at 4.6 kilometres. Look at the push on the front of that pack.
Everybody wants to be in there. They know that if they get distance on the climb, this will be their only chance to score any prize money today, any points in that sprint competition. This is going to be absolutely critical. But the man who's going to clean up is going to be Karlstrom. He is clear at the front. Patrick Karlstrom has got the race lead. He goes through at the head of Category 3 in the sprint there as they go in and through. Category 4, it was Vodicek from Cadiz, from Spratt, from El Alami, from Pedicini. But in with Category 5 at the moment. They're just heading around the turn at the 11.4k marker now, so they're just coming back out from the climb. But to me, although we're traveling at 35 kilometers an hour nearly, the pace is relatively up, but it has broken up this group. We've got the leaders and a number of riders again distancing Category 5.
Well, we're in with Philip Strill at the moment. He took fourth place last week on the Yabba, so a rider to watch. Very much part and parcel of this pack, but many groups of Category 5 riders behind them. The leading group has definitely whittled it down as they come towards the 12-kilometre marker. They're still over 3k out from the Canberra climb today. That's on the right-hand side of your screen. On the left-hand side of your screen, Category 3 out of the pen.
And it was indeed confirmed as Patrick Karlstrom, who takes the 5 points in Category 3. He was ahead of Diedutch, Bloom, Sure, and Oya. They are the riders in first, second, third, fourth, and fifth place. But to give you an indication of the speed of Category 3, Patrick Karlstrom was behind a huge amount of riders. In fact, he was the 48th rider across the line. So behind riders in Category 5, behind riders in Category 4. Category 3 taking it relatively steady to that point. To reinforce that point, Diedutch, who was second, was in 56th place overall. Bloom, who was third, in 64th. Sure in fourth place, in 67th position across the line. In fact, to get to the vast majority of the riders in Category 3, you've got to be into the 90s. So it shows you the volume of riders who've gone quicker in Categories 5 and Category 4 ahead of Category 3.
They are all separate races. And it doesn't mean just because you're in a higher numbered category that the pace is always higher than a lower numbered category. They are
Indeed.
different races with different dynamics and different strategies, and they play out very differently every week. Well, Category 3 at the 6.2 kilometre mark. Coming to the brow of the hill, Ivo Sur, Andrew Rushmer, Mariusz Kuskirski here as well. Blaze Yanni is in the mix too. Really good to see these riders, and they're about to hit that descent as the Category 2 race. Well, they're about to come out of the pen.
So Category 3, downhill. Category 1, well, they're going nowhere fast for the next 40 or so seconds. Then they're going to be unleashed. The BL13 Watt Bomb squad led by Hoffman. Cycling District 2 squad, Pinto and Machado. The Smarty squad of 3 riders, Bankston, Damsgaard, and Walter. The Hitmen, the aforementioned Hitmen, still have riders racing. From Finland, it is Tatu Koistunen. We have the UAE Falcons represented by Ahmed Al-Tanaji and Zaid Hamdan, and the UAE clan team, who were on blistering form last week in the finals, led by Mr. X100, Pavlo Popovic, and SS, the 3 riders who were absolutely storming on the Jebel Hafit. What can they do today? They will need to treat the Canberra climb like the Jebel Hafit of last week. Away go Category 2. They need to get to the top of that climb in that leading group. There's very little after that should disrupt a good rider at the front of the race. But you've got to get there first. We're heading out towards that first kicker at 600 meters. It takes us over the top here in the park, left-hand turn done. And to me, this pace just a little bit steadier here in Category 2. I think that's going to change when we hit that climb.
One of the things for me about Category 2, and there are 58 riders on the start sheets today, is the strength and depth of the race field. So last week, we were on the Jebel Hafit. So a massive climb, 1,041 meters of climbing over 45 kilometers, and most of that came in the final 10K. Just 26 seconds, put my teeth in, separated the top 10 riders. X100, Ivan Nuki, Pablo Popovic, Peter Milostic, and Jeffrey Malure were the top 5. And like I say, just 26 seconds separating the top 10. The strength and depth and the ability and how well matched this race field are, absolutely brilliant.
It is definitely. We just saw Mr. X100 on our screens, the winner on the Jebel Hafit for the UAE Clan team last week. Good to see him back in action, really riding strongly at the moment and leading that team to the team win. Will they be able to do that again today? There's a lot of riders up against them, so we will have to see. The riders on the way through. See what's going to go. Kittle at the moment just chasing Hansen, chasing Skierski and Damsgaard, making the way up over the top of the climb here. SS moving up as well. Great ride by him. Pushes on at the moment and looks like he's in there. But the two riders over the top, Damsgaard and Skierski, pushing at 7 watts per kilo. Have opened 2 or 3 seconds. This gap could go.
Well, no.
Yeah, come on, guys. Come on.
No. Too many riders with too many intentions in the pack behind to let these two riders go this early. Whilst Skierski and Damsgaard could go, I don't think anybody behind will let them go way too early. And like I say, too many riders wanting to be part and parcel of the race today. Trujillo, X100, Ospina, Bjorkland, Kennett. Dylan Kennett could go well today. So could Cam Winfield. Mohamed Al Case in the mix as well. And looking forward to seeing him race this month. I think he's here on the Sunday Race Club because he's also got an entry into the MyWhoosh Championships. I don't know. I haven't seen the start list for the MyWhoosh Championships yet. Looking forward to seeing it, mind you, when it is out and ready.
Biting your fingernails somewhat.
I am. I'm so excited to see who's entered.
I know. I think it's going to be very interesting when we compare things like the course profiles. Great picture on social media from Jeff Rooney about having the whole of the MyWhoosh Championship course profiles on his wall already. And really
psyching himself up.
Yeah, and then comparing how the riders go on a single day with a multi-day, how they go on a course like this, which is one big climb that comes at 20, comes at 15k, basically a third of the way into the race route. We've got longer race distances. We've got different race routes. We've got a real battle. We've got the overall battle as well. We've got the team competition, the sprints, the climbs. We've got age categories in there as well. There's lots and lots of details on the MyWhoosh Championships. Do make sure that you have a read up if you're going to be watching. I hope you're going to be joining Emma and myself. We're going to be bringing you all of the race action for the MyWhoosh Championships from the very first starter's gun right the way through to the finishing flag at the
end. I promise
I
won't say I love a stage race very often.
It's going to happen at least 2 or 3 times a week. If you are going to put yourself together a bingo card, I suggest that is one of the commentary bingo card things that you put on there.
I love a stage race.
There you go already. So we're not even into the championships. Let's see which of our Category 1 riders are on form as we head into awards of August, as we head into the first of our qualifiers in August. We have our big squads here today. We've got the Wenger boys with 1 rider now, Pedersen, Union of Speed with 1 rider, Joel Lewis, so has HCNSVE, Yongfei Wu, Marshu Wu, also known as that, with 3 riders, 2 teams, the Boss Moves Only and the Farm Watt squad. Puckett, Norrin and Harris for the Farm Watt squad, Osborne, Knudsen and Vink for the Boss Moves Only squad. Alfred Jaw have 3 as well, with Chirrick for Justin and Jones. So 3 squads with 3 riders. But for me, Osborne on blistering form, looking, I think, to go into August, September, October, November on a flyer. Is it his today? Here we go. It is August. It's qualifier race number 1. It's Category 1, our final race field away for today on Sunday, the 3rd of August. 45 kilometers distance to cover. We've got to climb 666 meters. 404 of those are on our main climb of the day at a third of race distance already. The throttle's down.
Well, the throttle is down, and it is indeed, she says, trying to look and work out who it is. Absolutely dialing it on the front at the moment here in Category 1. It's Carlos Ramirez who is absolutely dialing it out of the pen. Great push. Pal Skierski going as well. Ricardo Panizza is there. Mikhail Kaminsky, Lionel Yasin, Ollie Jones, all in the mix as the push comes out of the pen. 33 riders on the start sheets today. Welcome to Tim Cutler, back last with us in April. Good to have him back in the mix. Jeffrey Malure, Jossel Betty, Christoph Flubus, Leonard Tugels is here, Linda Milostic, already qualified along with Josh Harris. For those semi-finals later on in the year under the Australian qualification system. Fabulous, that is. But you talked about Jason Osborne being here, Matt, from that Boss Moves Only squad. Jason Osborne holds the course record here on the Outer Loop in Australia. 62 minutes, 42 seconds for the Category 1 course record. We talked about Marius Fosseed in Category 6, who holds the Category 6 course record, 80 minutes 49. A huge variety in our racing fields, and that is fabulous to see. Also fabulous to see Carlos Ramirez, the guy who dialed it out of the start pen today.
He's absolutely flying on the way out. Great to see him on our screens. All once again, you can see him in person on the left-hand side of your screen, tapping that rhythm out, 90 revs per minute, as you can see, and a fantastic race shot behind
It's brilliant,
him.
isn't it?
Have you worked out where it is?
I know I haven't. I turned my head to read the words. We'll never give up.
The flares going, the rider going off into distance. I think it's Paris-Roubaix.
Oh.
Carlos, if you watch this back, do let us know. One rider I want to just go back to that you mentioned, Tim Cutler.
Yes.
He hasn't been on for a while. He's ridden over 70 races with us. His best position ever on a Sunday Race Club was taken on the Paso de Alto course.
Which is where we have the August finals.
Indeed. And he's a rider who can climb really well. You don't get to win that without being able to climb well. Does that mean today he's got a good chance of staying in there as long as he hides in the bunch?
Well, the two climbs on the Paso Alto, neither of them are as steep as the one today. They're both very steady state climbs. The first one's around 6%, the second one's around 3%. So they are very steady state climbs. It's not a steady state climb today. It's three shorter climbs as part and parcel as one overlong climb, and they get really steep, 12, 13, 14% in places. A very different type of climbing.
We'll see how they go. One man who I do suspect is going to be in there, Stefan van Elst. He's going to be in the mix. Will he be able to get right up to the front? Very difficult with the quality of riders that we have got in here with our world champion. However, Stefan van Elst can never be discounted. Very canny rider. Very good at using his energy wisely, I think. When you look at the stats and look at the numbers after, he really is a rider who, for me, doesn't burn energy needlessly. He really does what he needs to do.
Yeah, he does indeed, and he is a very smart rider.
Yeah.
And one I really enjoy watching racing, actually.
Now, let's take a look on the right-hand side of our screen at the riders who we set off first. Julia Orrego, the rider who is leading at the moment on the climb of the Canberra climb, currently at 18.6 kilometres covered. That means that there's still a 2.1 now, just a little bit less, just over 2K to go to the summit of this climb. He's got a gap at the moment of 9 seconds to Vladimir Toro and 23 seconds to Rudy Skretting, Diaz, Padzel, a Truba, and a big group of riders. It's a long train of chasing riders behind. Meanwhile, we're going to go back to Category 1. The last set of riders to go away because Pavel Skierski at the moment, clearly no respecter of big reputations. Never mind following the established hierarchy. I'm going to go early. I'm going hard. And Pavel Skierski at the moment hasn't really opened up. You see the medals that are behind him. He's there. You can just see out of the saddle looking very good indeed. And that is one medal wall to be very proud of. He's covered virtually the entire wall apart from the air conditioning unit and the TV screen with medals. That is some going.
It is indeed, and why not? Some people cover their wall in race numbers, others cover them in medals. Whatever you cover your wall in, I hope you're enjoying your pain cave. Paul Skierski absolutely is.
Does acoustic sound treatment count?
No.
Oh.
So another rider in with at the moment, Mikhail Kaminski. Well, there's no medals or numbers on his wall, but there is a jersey. Fabulous to see Mikhail Kaminski in the pack at the front of this Category 1 pack. They're going through what is going to be the first checkpoint of the day.
And Skierski trying to hold on for the sprint here to take the checkpoint. Jasper Paradis trying to spoil the party, coming at 13 watts per kilo. He's chasing hard here. Skierski's trying to respond to this. I'm not sure Skierski's got enough left. Over the top goes Paradis. Jasper Paradis is going to take the first across the checkpoint there. If I'm not much mistaken, he does indeed. Skierski's going to take second place. Skierski's long range attack. They're going on the attack, going early. He almost had it.
Oh, I was willing him, but it didn't work. Jasper Paradis comes flying through to pick up the fastest time through the first sprint checkpoint of the day for Category 1. They got there in 5 minutes, 58 seconds. Maciej Skierski, it would have been a brother double. Maciej Skierski takes the Category 2 pack through. Patrick Karlstrom, Category 3, Jakub Wojciech, Category 4, Yo Warren, Category 5, and Rennie Olsen, Category 6.
So they are your leaders in each of the categories. In Category 1, it was Paradis who scored 5 points, Paul Skierski scoring 4, Lionel Vajassin 3, Tim Cutler taking 2, and Stefan van Elst taking 1.
Yeah, yes, Paradis off the back of the Category 1 pack as they come through. Not even tried to join now. Job done.
Job done. Just ride to the finish to claim that prize. Because I don't think I'm sure he doesn't think he's going to be in with the leaders over the top. You've got to be with the lead group realistically over the top of the Canberra climb checkpoint to be able to contest the final 3 sprints.
And that is one of the really interesting things here. The differentiator between the men's and the women's outer loop course. Because if you go back and you watch the women's race, the extra 10 kilometres is at the end of this course. The women's race, 3 sprints are before the climb, 1 sprint after the climb. The men's race, 1 sprint before the climb, 3 sprints after the climb. Very, very different race strategy required, even though the first 20, 35 kilometres of this race are the same because of the positioning of those checkpoints.
Indeed, if you are going to try and take those checkpoints and try and add. Remember, of course, although it is a huge prize list, which you can see on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club pages in the road, but that you can get to on mywhoosh.com/events. One of the things that we always say, remember, there are lots of people riding who are not riding for prizes. They are riding for positions to improve their personal performance. They're riding against their friends and mates, their brothers, sisters, family members,
or just themselves,
mom and dad, all themselves, just to improve. And that really is important. Improving time and time again on your performance. It might be that your best position is 44th and Joe Bloggs is 45th, and you want to stay ahead of Joe Bloggs, and who you know very well because he normally has a habit of beating you, and you've beaten him for the first time. It's all about getting that data, those results. You can catch them on mywhoosh.com. Go to results on there. Don't forget, of course, if you want to see about our riders, learn about what our riders are capable of, then jump onto mywhooshinfo.com. And meanwhile, I'm geeking out on the multi-screen Benjamin Brignall once again. Really nice setup, that I have to say. Really tech smart, using the tech to give you the best view of the racing and to give you a fantastic advantage in terms of being able to get that data quick. The faster you can take that data, assimilate where the riders are, look at the race unfolding around you, the better a rider you are. It's one of the often forgotten skills of cycling esports, is that it's not just about power, it's not just about pace or speed, it's not about climbing ability only, it's all those plus the magic ingredient, which is being able to read the screen, the data, interpret that data at pace, and make great judgments about how you race the race. And I think that's key today, in how much energy you put in to the top of the climb.
Well, I think it also tells as to how long you've been racing the Sunday Race Club. We were talking about Henry Yeast being a centurion. Benjamin Brignall, who we've just had on, 8 races. Lasse Hansen has company in the Pain Cave. Loving that. We were talking about family participation earlier on, and absolutely brilliant to see. He's also dialing it on the front of the Category 2 race at the moment, and the waving all round.
Yeah.
Fabulous to see. I do love these windows that we see on the Sunday Race Club into the real world of the cycling avatars. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, great to see the Hanson gang there in the Pain Cave and tapping out a nice rhythm. Always good to see youngsters. And at some point, somebody's going to message us so that we can send you a message
All
and say
I can say
congratulations. Well
is
done,
just
buddy.
be careful because it will not be long till he's quicker than you.
Yes. Yes, that is something a voice of experience speaks from everybody in the commentary box and probably behind the scenes and the screens as well. So, as our riders make their way through, you can see here the riders in that front of that group. Lasse Panel Hansen at the front of Category 2 with SS, with Jan Kaplinski, Nathan Guerra in there as well as Lucas Halen. They're making their way out at the moment from this little climbing section at 11.3k. They've then got a relatively flat run to the base of the Canberra climb, but at the moment, this is the leading group. Not too many people shed on that rise of that climb out from the low point of the course today.
No, and it's still a really big pack, and it's rolling strong. So we've got a big push here. This is just one of those small climbs. There's many small climbs, and they really are really short, but the riders making the most of them on the course today. So 5 riders just pushing on. Winfield is there, and they're not pushing on that strongly, but just enough to keep the pace high.
Well, keeping the pace high is Julio Arrego. We dropped in on him earlier when he was about 2k from the summit of the climb at the moment. Well, he's about 500 meters from the summit. Behind him, Vladimir Toro, who had a big gap to the chasers behind, has been closed down. That gap has virtually been wiped out. And in fact, just coming into the clutches of that group. So that leaves us one rider in front, Julio Arrego, leading this clear. Jeff Rooney on his heels, the man who has many claims to fame. Currently, the man with the best display of stage profiles on his wall. If you can beat it, get in touch with us. Do tag us in at MyWhoosh on Instagram, at biking_Emma, and at Matt Fixapain. Matt Fixapain. I've only had it for I can't remember how long. Jeff Rooney indeed is here today, and you can see right in that chase group, they're looking to close the gap down. I think they'll run out of room. I don't think they're closing down quickly enough, but it is a long way. It feels a long, long way from here to the top.
It does, and Rooney took 3rd last week on the Yabblehafie, and that was his climbing strength that put him in that position. And he's showing that climbing strength again today. So Arrego in 1, 10 seconds clear of Montoya, Rooney, Diaz, Toro, Stretting, Patzel in there as well. This is a really interesting group. So 8 riders in this chase group, 1 rider clear at the moment, which puts 9 riders, I think, that will be going over the top of this climb in contention. It's not too far back to a small group of riders behind. It's going to be interesting to see how many come together at the end. But at the moment, it's Julio Arrego who is pushing for the polka dot jersey because there's only one opportunity, one climbing checkpoint to take that polka dot skin suit today.
And that gap had come down from 15 seconds to 10 seconds. The group, though, not taking advantage of that. Arrego being very, very aware of what was happening around him and where those riders were, put a kick in. That has kept him clear. He's now at 16 seconds. He's still traveling up towards that climb checkpoint. He's on the right-hand side of your screen. Left-hand side of your screen, Category 5, Philip Streel at the moment has really, really stretched his legs. He's left the rest of the riders behind. Gonzalez, the nearest rider, 15 seconds to Gonzalez. Friedrich is sitting in 3rd place in the Category 5 race, but at the moment, Philip Streel with the gap in Category 5, setting his stall out to take the climb competition. Remember, the climb segment and the overall climb competition decided on this one climb today, the Canberra climb. The first rider to crest the summit of the Canberra climb is going to be Julio Arrego of Category 6. He's going to take away the segment prize. He'll take away the climb competition prize as well. He'll be wearing that polka dot skin suit. There he goes. Top spot, 5 points. It'll be 4, 3, 2, and 1 points behind. But key today, taking the win. Philip Streel now on our screens. Category 5 climb leader.
Well, he is, and he's 15 seconds clear of Adrian Gonzalez, the closest rider to him in that Category 5 race. Fabulous work here on the Category 5 races. They're coming towards the top of the climb. Just a few 100 meters to go. You can see the banner ahead, and Streel continuing to climb, continuing to tap a rhythm, and great work here, working his way towards that polka dot skin suit. 15 seconds back to Gonzalez, 42 seconds back to Tapia.
It's a big gap behind, and then between these 3 leading riders, you've got a big group coming behind. And with what's after this, does Streel need to keep pushing as hard? Does Gonzalez need to keep pushing as hard? Does Tapia? 3 different questions dependent on the time gap, because Streel has got a huge gap here. Gonzalez less so. Tapia is the closest to the main group. Streel's going to go over the top here. He's got the chance either to really rest and recover or to push on. We get the wave as he goes over the top there. You can see sits down, glad to sit back down after that big climb, but he takes the prize.
24.3 kilometre run now till the finish line. It's a very long run solo, and you've got to continue to tap a time trial rhythm to stay clear. But you've got the faster moving bunches behind you because of the 5-minute gaps between race field categories and the likelihood you're going to be caught. Well, at the moment, going into the base of the Canberra climb, this is the Category 2 race field. Hassan Sultan is the rider leading the charge into the lower slopes.
And there's no advantage of sitting back and being boxing smart at the back of the group, being the last into the climb segment now, because we've lost the fastest through the segment. It used to pay to sit at the back as you went through the start of the segment and be at the front.
Yes, because it was about your time.
It gave you some time in the
back.
It's
not about your time anymore.
Now it pays to be on the front. That's the only thing that really matters. Keeps it simple.
Well, it does.
Stupid people like me. It's easy to keep a check off, that's for sure, because Sultan at the moment leaving. Phil Gray still on the chase. So is Walter. So is Bennett. So is Concaise. So is Matthias Van He. They're all in the mix here. Hassan Sultan on the front now. This is where we expect to see this stretch out. Remember, this climb is 4 kilometres long, 4,000 metres of pain, upwards of 400 meters of climbing. So 4,000 long, 4,000 meters long, 404 meters high.
Can I get to the moon in 4,000 K?
No. You can't. No, it's nowhere near that.
I don't know.
It's much further.
Is it? I'm going to check it out.
You feel free. Whilst Emma Googles how far to the moon in kilometres, don't forget, of course, you can get in touch with Emma with other pointless facts and figures at biking_Emma, and you can get hold of me. It is at Matt Fix of Pain.
Ooh!
So is there a 4 in there anyway?
There is. So there is 4,000 kilometres, but it's 384,000 kilometres.
Yeah, that's a bit different. In fact, it's 4,000. It's 4,000 meters long. Yeah, it's kind of like nowhere near.
Anyway,
it's got 4s in the number. I tell you something. Juan Quiros would hope it would have a few less, but he's doing a great performance. It may be hurting, but the thing you always have to tell yourself, it may be hurting me, but if I'm hurting and I'm at the front, everybody behind is hurting more because they are losing ground. If it was hurting them less, they'd be up at the front and I'd be chasing them. Look at this: Van der Zandt, El Alami, Podesini, Quiros, Flores, Spratt, all in the mix here. This group of chasers coming up behind Van der Zandt. El Alami squeezing on here. So is Flores. Flores sprints across. They're going to make contact. And with this train of riders in front, this dot to dot of riders, you've got the opportunity to take a little bit of draft, still traveling at nearly 20 kilometers an hour. So there is still draft available. It will still help, and every little counts when you're on the limit, and these riders on the limit chasing the run to the summit at the moment.
Well, Frank Flores, Mohamed Al Alami, Juan Quiros, Van der Zandt, Perdicini, Giuliano. Those are the riders at the top of this Category 4 race, but it is Flores who is pushing on. El Alami is with him in front. The numbers are high. 9.2 watts per kilo from Flores. El Alami continues to push. Which one of these two is it going to be? I think it's going to be El Alami who takes this. He does indeed. It's gone clear of Frank Flores. So Mohamed El Alami goes into the polka dot skin suit in Category 4. Oh, look at the effort from Flores there. He's gone through in second. A little bit of recovery now required on that downhill section before the group catches. He needs to jump on board.
So El Lamy taking top spot from Flores in second, Quiros in third, Giuliano in fourth, Pedencini in fifth place. Van der Zandt, who was leading for a while, taking sixth from Spratt, from Hernandez, and from Ibrahim.
Well,
9 riders in that group.
Category 1 coming to the 15-kilometre marker. They're coming into the base of the climb. And Christoph Flubus has done a flyer off the front of the pack. 10 seconds clear. Pucker, Kroll, Vink, Cutler, Osborne, and Wu are the riders on the front of the chase group. But Christoph Flubus is the rider solo at the moment off the front of the Category 1 pack. Now, interesting move. Go clear, give yourself some sliding room, allow potentially to give yourself enough sliding room so that you don't get dropped by the top. Really interesting move from Christoph Flubus at the moment, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays. Carlos Ramirez, Michael Vink, Christoph Kroll, all there.
Now this is going to work really well for him if he can hold this to the top. He's ridden 10 Sunday Race Clubs so far. This is his 11th, and 11th place is the best position he's had in a Sunday Race Club so far. Now, he's up the front. It's giving him a little bit of sliding room, dependent on what happens behind. If this breaks early and he stays up clear, he's got a chance of coming in and bettering that position. So much of it will depend on how big a group is together as they go up this climb. At the moment, Flebus has the gap to Vink and co. Osborne tucked in there in the rainbow jersey, the world champion, on the front of that pack, not losing too much ground as they make their way up that climb. It is Osborne absorbed just into the group, but look at this, the chase is on. Flebus at the front, though, holding well at the moment, just keeping control of this. He's got the gap, and we've already got to 15.8k into this race route. The leaders in Category 1 onto the climb.
Oh, they are indeed. It's a 5.4 kilometre climb with an average gradient of 8.1%. It is steeper. There are 3 clear sections on the climb, and the first section, one of the least steep. The midsection, well, it goes to around 12%. The top section goes to around 14%. So there are some very steep sections. Michael Vink's got his ice vest on already. He is ready and prepared for the work he's expecting to do on the climb. And at some point, the world champion, I assume, will launch unless one of his teammates goes first. And that is obviously Knudsen or Vink. Those 3 riders, Osborne, Knudsen, and Vink, dominant in the climb on the final last week on the Jebel Havit. It was Osborne, Vink, Wu separating those 3 teammates because Knudsen took 4th place and Jones in 5th. Well, Christian Montoya on our screens at the moment, part and parcel of this Category 3 race field. They are well and truly on the climb. In fact, they're going to be up and under the banner very shortly. Huge group of Category 3 riders heading towards the banner together. One of them's going to push very, very shortly. In fact, Nick Squilari is pushing already. Just seen 8 watts per kilo from Squilari. He wants that polka dot skin suit. But this entire pack, well, they are going to stay together now. And this, for me, I predict now a Category 3 sprint at the 45-kilometre marker. But Nick Squilari does indeed push. He pushes through out the front of the pack. Does he pick up the skin suit, or did someone sneak over in front of him? Well, no, Batty snuck over in front of him. Look at that, 24 seconds earlier. No, Batty, polka dot skin suit.
Polka dot skin suit takes the win on the climb segment, takes away the climb competition overall. So Batty coming in through from Sandstorm with Squilari in 2, Kalman in 3, Angarita in 4, and Didutch in 5. They're the point scorers. Then it was Alvarado, Lopera, Hawaii, and co. That 20 riders, nearly 19 riders, in fact, in that leading group in Category 3 as they went over the top of the summit of the Canberra climb here in Australia on the outer loop race route. Remember, the climb segment starting 15k in. You go in onto the climb at the moment. This group looking strong in category 1, chasing the category 2 leaders. 5 minutes separated them at the start of the race. Category 2 leaders currently at 18.6k. Category 1 leaders 17k at the moment. But this really is going to be about being in the selection. You've got to be in the lead group. And as Emma said, and I have quoted Emma already today, you've got to treat the top of the climb as the finish.
Well, Jason Osborne is, because he's putting the power down at the moment and trying to ride away from that Category 1 race field. Vink, Van Elst, Wu and Jones coming to the fore of the group. In fact, it's Michael Vink, his teammate, who's giving chase at the moment. And I think he's going to be bringing a lot of that group over with him. He's not going to do it solo. So Wu jumps onto Vink's wheel. Jones jumps onto Wu's wheel. Cutler jumps onto Jones' wheel. Oh, let's see how many of them make it onto Jason Osborne's wheel. While Osborne backing off slightly, I think, from that attack as they come to the flat section.
Yeah, that flat section was really key. That last kick into the flat is where we saw Osborne put it in. Really did put that dig in. It then levels, slight drop. I think the moment that we go on here, the recovery will be in. Vink is going to push here. And now, just as people think they've got a chance to recover, they're going to go again. Because if I were them, this would be where the kick, we know they can recover between the start, that little kick at the end. That was not a full-on race effort. Expect to see this pace be tapped out here. Michael Vink at the moment sitting at 6.7 watts per kilo. Cutler at the moment, well, he's at 6.1, but I think Osborne now starting to wide 7 watts per kilo, 7.5. Here we go, heading for 8 watts per kilo. Osborne is stretching it out. Who can go with him? Who can stand the pace of the world champion? Osborne, Cutler, Jones, Pucker, Vajassin at the moment. In fact, Vajassin is the rider who is leading the chase. We are seeing 5 riders going clear. This is going to be critical. I think we're potentially going to see the first selection being made here on the qualifier race number 1 in category 1, because this is about who can stay with the pace as long as possible to go clear in a group following Osborne. Osborne leading, 5 riders chasing. The rest of the riders still battling as we dive in with Jakob Bjorklund in category 2. He's part of this chase group. 2 riders just up in front of him that we've just seen on the screen. So this group working hard at the moment, but you can see 2 riders off the front. So the second group on the road, a good sized group that Bjorklund is in at the moment. Up in front of Bjorklund, right in the very front, you can just see the riders just going clear. That left turn, that right turn. They want to get out of sight of these chasers. Ivan Nuki and SS up at the front of the race in category 2. So SS, the rider with the blue cap, the blue shoes and the blue gloves, going clear, the blue bandana there, blue glasses as well. Ivan Nuki immediately behind him with that white helmet on. They're both trying to push clear. They're at 19.6 kilometers, so they still have work to do. They want to get to 20.7k, and that is the point at which the climate competition will be decided. Nuki battling to stay with SS on this climb. This is really key now. If they want to take this, they need to make this effort count. You cannot afford to fire off a warning shot. You need to make it a decisive blow as you go here and very quickly close down. Nuki goes over the top of SS. They go back together again. They've got the gap. 14 seconds now opened up between Ivan Nuki and SS and Michael Shuren. Shuren leading the chasing pack with Damsgaard and co. But this pack have not got themselves together in the chase. I suspect that's going to come in the next few hundred meters, though, because they are on to the last section of this climb. It's a long way to the top. We still got what is some 900 meters or so to go, and they're a painful 900 meters. The average gradient of this climb is 8%, but you can see at the moment we're at 12.5%, really biting into the legs, really making it painful. The 2 leaders are clear. They go round the left-hand turn. They're going to be hidden by the flags in front of these riders. We're going to keep on pushing here. That gap, while it is still holding, teammates of the leader on the road SS up the road, Miss X100 in this group at the moment in that main pack. So's Khan Kane, Trudinsky's in here, Ika Morel in here. Interesting Miller's in here. Damsgaard's got a phenomenal sprint on him. Don't discount him at the end of a tough race. Khan Kane, well, a rider who came to our attentions 2 years ago. Khan and Bert Kane really did make their mark in the MyWhoosh Championship in 2023. They were phenomenal at sprinting. They were right in the mix. It was great to see them in action. I'm really hoping we're going to see them again 2 years later when we go in to those 7 stages over 8 days.
I think they're more all-rounders now.
I think they're more all-round riders, for sure. Yeah, I think they're a more complete rider.
Well, Category 2 on the right-hand side of your screen, battling in the last 500 metres of the climb. Not too far behind, it is Vink Osborne. Well, they've got Woo for company. It is 3 riders in Category 1. They've just gone past Nicholas Becker in Category 2. So 3 riders in Category 1, now clear of the rest of the race field. So interesting watching Woo go with them week by week and getting stronger and stronger.
Indeed. And in some ways, what we're seeing on the left here, I think, is going to be a rerun almost of the last stage of the World Championships.
Oh,
3 riders, and these 3 riders on that climb going clear.
You think?
If Woo can score enough points and get himself into that final, when you start going up that climb and you're being chased down in an elimination race, these 3 riders could well be, for me,
I hope
the
so.
3 climbing riders who are going to be up there. We'll have to see. Now, let's go back to Category 2. Never mind looking forward to the World Championships. Let's look forward to the top of the climb. We have 20.5k underneath the wheels of SS. Ivan Nuki is behind at 9 seconds. The banner is getting closer here. Nuki is continuing to push to try and close down SS, but behind him, Sheridan and Damsgaard are on their way as well. So is Milostic, so is Miss X100. These gaps are coming down behind Nuki. SS continues to push. You want to go over the banner. You want to take victory at the top of this climb. It also will put him in a good position in terms of the points, because, of course, the points competition is really going to be fought out behind.
Well, I can tell you behind, the push is coming, and the push is coming strong. Peter Milostic's nearly at 7 watts per kilo at the moment, and the gap seems to be coming, but it's not going to close quick enough. But they need to stay in contention because they want to be in contention at the end, and they need to start motoring now, this group, to pick up pace, pick up momentum, and close down these gaps to sweep everybody up. And Ivan Nuki is one of those riders being swept up at the moment. So the pack, Damsgaard, X100, Milostic, Shuran, Theme, all sweep up together, and it's only SS who's out front.
So SS takes away the climb segment competition. He takes the 5 points. That means he will win the climbs competition overall. Ivan Nuki in second, Mr. X100 in third, Nikolai Damsgaard in fourth, Peter Milostic in 5th place.
22 riders in that chase group. So 23 if you include SS, currently in contention in Category 2.
So the leaders in Category 2 at the top of the climb, you can see on the map, the long straight to the top, that U-turn at the top to the right, and then that long drop back down, almost parallel, basically the other side of the buildings that we can see to the left of the riders at the moment. We go up one side of the buildings, we go back down the backside of the backyard, but that is where we're heading with Category 1 as Michael Vink pushes on here. His teammate Jason Osborne glued to his wheel, and Woo cannot hold the wheel here. Yunfei Wu at the moment just losing the ground as we see the world champion go over the top of Fink here. So Osborne goes over the top of Fink. 10 watts per kilo. What has Fink got left? Has he got the ability to close the gap back down and go over the top once again? Time is running out. This is the summit of the climb. It's going to be Jason Osborne who's going to take away the climb competition in Category 1. Osborne in 1, Vink in 2. It should be a Wu going through in 3rd position. Then it's going to be all about where's that chase.
Well, I can tell you, Jason Osborne climbs the climb. Vink and Wu, the only 2 riders to go with him. And then at the end, bang! bring double numbers in the sprint to take the top of the Canberra Climbs Day and be the first Category 1 rider over the line. Michael Vink was in close contention at 9 watts per kilo, but just not enough to pip Jason Osborne. So Jason Osborne setting the fastest time in Category 1 to that point in the race. 33 minutes 51 seconds. SS leading through Category 2. Now Batty leading through Category 3. Mohamed El Alami leading through Category 4. Philip Streel leading through Category 5. And Julio Arrego leading through Category 6.
There were your leaders on the way through. In terms of Category 1, we've just seen Ollie Jones go over the summit in Category 1, quickly followed by Lionel Verjasin, Mikhail Kaminsky, Michael Knudsen, and Leonard Tugels. They're the top. The riders running out the top 8. So Osborne, Vink go over in the lead. Then a gap to Wu. Then a gap, much bigger gap back to Jones. And then Verjasin, Kaminsky, Knudsen, Tugels, and Rostic chasing hard.
Well, and I can tell you in that Category 1 race, Jason Osborne has waited for his teammate Michael Vink. So the two riders are clear of Wu by 14 seconds. But the two riders can now work together, which is absolutely crucial because they've got a 24.3 kilometre run to the finish line. And I say run, it's either downhill or flat, very small amount of bumps along the way that are not going to bother any of the Category 1 riders. So they really need to work together to stay clear of perhaps a faster moving chase group with more momentum. So Osborne and Vink, they are leading the Category 1 race further up the road with now coming up 9 kilometres to go. Julio Arrego is got company in the Category 6 race. Toro, Jose, Rooney, Stretting, Montoya. They are all there. 2, 4, 6, 8 riders leading the Category 6 race. Wow.
A real regroup there that's gone on. They really have pulled that back together again. So Arrego in there, and Julio Arrego just sprinting to try and stay on was to go through this section and then go clear. Meanwhile, Philip Streel is about to join the back of this group here. So you can just see as they come into this segment, I think we're going to see Arrego just going in through first. Then it's going to be Streel in terms of leading the way through. This is the Canberra sprint, followed by then the Wollongong sprint there, the run down. This is that Wollongong sprint. So Scretting went through at the front of the racing Category 6 with Arrego, then Milano, then Jose. And they are the riders. Montoya going through in 5th place, then Toro, Rooney, and co. Think it's 14 riders in the lead. It's 13 riders, sorry, in the lead of Category 6, pretty much in contention, split into 2 groups. Philip Streel has got a monumental gap, though. Streel at the moment is clear of Pulaka, and by monumental, it's enough to take him into the mix in the Category 6 group. Well and truly clear, 32 seconds after that descent as a solo rider and into these sprints is some going.
Well, and Pulaka has company behind because Friedeck is there and others. So he is clear of the chase group by 32 seconds.
And that is a testament to how much work he must have done on that descent and through, because you just cannot keep that gap clear against the big group without putting the work in. That's something that SS is going to have found on his way down. You can see behind him the rest of the group are all at about 23 to 24 seconds. SS at the moment with just shy of half a minute lead as they go through. He's currently at kilometre 27. It does mean the good news for him is he's well over the halfway point. The bad news is he's still got about 18k to go to the finish because we've got to get to 45 kilometres in total. And that group behind are a big, big group. And they are moving at pace. They are going quick enough to drop riders out of that group. Let's move across from Category 2 to the very front of the race here, because we're in with Philip Streel. He's caught the leading group of Category 6. So the leader of Category 5 is Streel. He's caught the Category 6 leaders and he moves on to the front. You can't see the relevant category jersey because Streel at the moment holds the climb and the sprint segment competition, and not looking like he's going to be touched on that now.
Well, and it's an interesting move here because does he go to the front and does he go over the top and does he try and keep his pace high? Because he's still got, around 8 kilometres to the finish line. It might be a 32-second gap, but he's going to need help there. And take a look. There he goes. He calls for help from the group. Now, if you were in that Category 6 race, would you help Philip Strill? My answer is no.
My answer would be not a cat's chance in hell. Not happening.
Well, and that is because the Category 6 riders, there's 9 of them there, they're battling each other. Why would they want to help a Category 5 rider and waste the energy? Well, the energy here, dialing it from Nicholas Spratt, because coming up to the 36.2 kilometre marker, he's running into the next checkpoint.
And that is going to be the Wollongong sprint that we just saw Category 5 and 6 go through. Spratt has done enough work. Look at this. Just sits up, takes it nice and easy. He's dropped off the pace. He knows he's got the gap. He knows he's going to get those points. He's in the green skin suit as the leader of the sprint checkpoint competition. He sprints from the front of the group off clear. He swipes that. So the riders at the front of the Category 4 race, that leading group, if you're in the leading group, basically you are in contention now for those points. Everybody else now, unfortunately, out of contention and riding to get into the finish with the best position they can in the race overall. You can see this big group coming back together in Category 4. Front of the race, Philip Strill, the man who went clear on the climb, has held that gap at the moment. Well, he set himself a bit of a mission here today, but he is getting help as they come down through here, because you've got a huge group of Category 5. The two groups come together Category 6, the two groups have come together pretty much. So Category 5 leader Strill now doesn't just have 5 Category 6 riders.
He has 11.
It's come together. The whole lot have come together, and that now means he's got a lot more chance of sitting in that. And it also means that he's got a little bit more sliding room to the group behind, because although he's got a bit of a gap, there's no one in between him and the rider chasing.
Yeah, now what we're seeing is the fact that because we've got 11 Category 6 riders in there, they are going to start battling it out. And all Strill needs to do in Category 5 is sit in and take as much draft as possible, but make sure the pace stays high. They're going to want to start fighting. At one point, they might start a little bit of cat and mouse, and that's when Strill needs to watch the time gaps behind. But until that point, they will move fast to the finish line. Well, moving quick to the finish line is the Category 2 race field at the moment. They're coming up towards 30 kilometres with 15k to go, but fairly flat, and they've all come together at the moment. Bruce Bird looking like he's starting to push on the front, and that may well be because we are about to start going through the sprint checkpoints.
Indeed. So the Category 2 group had come together. They'd absorbed SS into the group. Immediately, Bruce Bird goes over the top. He's currently at 29.6. He's aiming for that 30.9 marker. He's got a fair way to go, but this is the way for Bruce Bird to do it. Go for a long one. He's on the right-hand side of your screen. Left-hand side of the screen, Osborne and Vink are together. Dynamic duo from the Boss Moves Only squad are on the way through. Current standing between the two of them is that Batman is Osborne and Vink is Robin. But my goodness, would they want to put that to the test? I'm not sure. And will it stay that way? Well, quite often the apprentice can become a master.
Well, that is true. And all friends off the field. And when it comes to who goes over the line first, I bet it's anybody's in the last kilometre.
I bet it's anybody's from about here on in. To be fair, I don't think these two need to worry too much about what's happening behind. They don't, I think, have enough of a concerted chase, and they've got enough of a gap and enough in reserve in the tank to stay clear. Meanwhile, Bruce Bird continues to push, just in 5.8 watts per kilo coming from Bird. He really is pushing. Very interesting. 500 meters still to go to the checkpoint. He's got to go round the right-hand turn. He's got a long straight and then another right-hand turn, and then you through the banner without even realising it. He's got to get this down into the Canberra sprint checkpoint, because that group behind her at 6 seconds. SS leading the charge at 5.8 watts per kilo. This is really interesting, this move behind, because they are really trying to push and get that gap closed back down. Skierski, I must say, Skierski was the rider who took maximum points last time from Damsgaard as they came in through. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens as Bird takes the top spot. What's going to happen behind? Here comes Damsgaard. He's got Guerra for company, so Damsgaard's looking to take the green sprint jersey. Nathan Guerra is going to push, but I think that is going to be Damsgaard's now as they go in through. So as they came in through the Canberra sprint in Category 2, Damsgaard gets second place, Guerra gets third, Pinto takes 4, and Nuki takes 5. Bruce Bird takes the win, but Damsgaard with that green sprint jersey. It means from that leading group, the battle really between Damsgaard, Bird, Nuki, and Pinto, because Nuki also scored points on that very first sprint as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that now plays out. Meanwhile, Category 1, Vic and Osborne, they're on their way. There was, well, 30.7k covered.
Well, yes, and interesting in that Category 2 race, just to drop back, over the top of the climb, we saw one rider with a chase group of 22. All the riders now together, so 23 riders in the leading group in Category 2, heading towards the finish. Jason Osborne and Michael Vink not that far behind at all, and the attack continues. Whoa, sneaky move from Osborne. The boss has moved. He's gone through the sprint checkpoint and just continued to go. Michael Vink absolutely dialing it to try and close down on his wheels. Osborne sitting up. Vink trying to manage the pace, trying to get into the draft. He's not in the draft yet. He's continuing to push. He's continuing to chase. It's not gone green yet. It will soon. Michael Vink coming up onto the wheel of Jason Osborne. Osborne's move, answered by Vink.
It is indeed 5Ks between the two checkpoints, 5.5K the distance between the two checkpoints, between the Canberra sprint and the Wollongong sprint. You can see on your screens the times of our individual winners per category. Osborne in 1, Bird in 2, Alvarado in 3, Spratt in 4, Streel in 5, and Jose in 6. Brian Allen Jose doing a good job in category 6 to keep those sprints nailed. And meanwhile, Category 2, right-hand side of your screen, Mr. X100, Christoph Thiem, Jonas Bjerg, Stuart Miller continue to push. You can see they're at 32.7k.
Yeah, I'm just going to give you an update on Category 1 because the next group of riders have come through that checkpoint. Tugels leading the charge. So Leonard Tugels, Ollie Jones, Lanover Yassin, Michael Nusson, Yunfei Wu, Mikhail Kaminsky and Hayden Pucker are the chasers in Category 1.
So 7 chasers, chasing 2. Unfortunately, those two are Vink and Osborne. A little bit further back, I think Van Elst, Harris and Power, a trio of riders chasing as well. But they've got a bigger group in front to close down in Category 1. But remember, of course, we've got categories from 6 to 1 out on the road simultaneously, as we will have in the MyWhoosh Championships. The Championships kicking off on the 12th of August, running through to the 19th of August. We have got a fantastic set of stages. The parkour's brilliant. I cannot wait to see what happens. And if there's one thing you can guarantee, other than the fact that Emma loves a stage race, is that we're going to have some great race action.
Well, I'm counting down the days, just 9 days until the MyWhoosh Championships.
Do you count days or sleeps?
Days.
9 sleeps.
Days.
Days to go.
Yes.
Okay. I count in sleeps. 9 more sleeps.
Well,
I have to sleep 9 more times, and then it's going to be MyWhoosh Championship time.
Well, X100 on the front here, SS Nuki all battling it out in Category 2. Just a small rise on the road, but making use of everything that you can. Bruce Bird quickly closing it down, and Bird, a really aggressive rider. And it's really great to see him in the action today and on the Sunday Race Club, the Canadian rider who rode so strongly earlier on this year. Back on form by the looks of it, Lucas Hayland in there, Stuart Miller, Nikolai Damsgaard in there, Ika Morel is here too as Ivan Nuki. I am loving this Category 2 race at the moment, and there's still 11k to go.
I predict it's going to come back together again.
Well, 23 riders in that group. Two riders trying to go clear. But with 23 riders, oh, no way. Not on this type of terrain. It's just not going to happen. Well, Philip Streel is the rider leading the Category 5 race. The group behind are Category 6. And it's a huge Category 6 group. That are going to contest the sprint for the finish. The question is, where is the closest Category 5 rider? And I think they are quite a way back.
I can confirm they are on the same straight.
16 seconds. It's getting closer.
Yeah, so they've just gone under that blue archway now.
Yeah.
So they're hidden behind the Category 5 group. And this could catch Streel out if he's not very attentive.
Look at the top right-hand corner.
That top right-hand corner. They are basically closer to the Category 5 group than he is clear of them.
There's not enough road.
They are on their way. No. 500 meters to go. This is a tricky run in to the finish to get right. Philip Steele should have enough sliding room at the front of the Category 5 race to stay clear, not just of the Category 6 leaders who are behind and are having to sprint for a finish, but also the chasers in Category 5. It was a brave move going clear on the front on that climb. He's made it stick all the way down the descent and on the terrain in between. Brilliant riding by Steele. You can see he's out of the saddle. He knows he's not got far to go. 5 seconds clear of the chasing group behind, but here comes the banner.
Well, Philip Steele is going to take his first win on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club, and that is something to shout about as he comes underneath the UCI banner. The Category 6 race unleashes behind. Philip Steele wins Category 5. Marius Fosseed wins Category 6. Second time of the winning on the Outer Loop course in Australia for Marius Fosseed, but it was indeed Philip Steele who came over the line first for the Category 5 win. Category 4, well, 1,500 metres to go until they come to the finish line, and Ryan Giuliano has got Perdencini and Quiros Hernandez et al. All with him. It's going to be an interesting race in Category 4.
So let's round up Category 6 first of all. Marius Fosseed taking the win from Julio Arrego in second, Stefan Tygard in third, and Johan Skrettin in fourth. Skrettin with the green jersey, Arrego with the polka dot jersey. In Category 5, Philip Steele taking away the win from Fabian Tapia in second, Tamo Friedrich in third, Julian Hers in fourth, and Jussi Polaka in fifth. They are the riders on the way in through that finish and Steele, I think, taking away the climb competition and taking away the sprint segment competition because he was clear at the front and nobody else could claim any of those points from the moment they pretty much hit the climb and he broke clear. That's Categories 5 and 6. Category 4 on the way into the finish zone.
Well, they are indeed, and they've got 800 metres to go. And interesting, the push in the group where the Category 4 leaders are not coming from Category 4. It's actually coming from the Category 6 rider who's just in front of them. But Daniel Thiem is there as well. We've got a couple of Category 5 riders in the mix, but let's try and pull these Category 4 riders for you. So Quiros, Giuliano, Hernandez and Pedicini are the riders in the mix here.
It's going to be a real battle. It's about getting the timing right here. You've seen how tricky this finish is. It's a long sweeping left-hand turn all the way in to that gantry, into the finishing line. It's about who jumps first. Interestingly, there's a push here from Category 5, and this is now about the response. Who will go? Who's got the kick?
Well, Perdicini's picked up at 8 watts per kilo. He's launched early, so is El Alami. Quiros is there. Massive kick from Juan Quiros, 14 watts per kilo. Quiros wants this, and he's got the power to prove it. Hernandez tries to go again, but Juan Quiros absolutely pushing it. Alberto Hernandez has not got anything to answer him. Neither has Ibrahim. It's going to be Juan Quiros who goes underneath the banner first in Category 4. Hernandez in 2, Ibrahim in 3. Oh, that was a great sprint. Ryan Giuliano, I think, will take 4th place today. Mohamed El Alami and Perdencini, 5th and 6th, respectively.
So Juan Quiros, who's had 2 third places, a 2nd place, now adds a 1st place to his palmares, and that means that now he has got 6 takings of the top 5 positions. Great move by him in Category 4. Category 3, though, look at this, Pierre Fell on the move.
Well, he is indeed, and Pierre Fell is going long here today, still 1,200 metres to go, and Fell pushing at 6.5 watts per kilo. The response from the group behind not coming yet. Now, this was a massive group, and it has whittled its way down a little, but not hugely. So we've got Alfred, Lepera, Holweiler, Sur, all in the mix. Marvin Angarita is there as well, and I'll tell you something, he is making the most of the draft at the moment, and it is indeed one of the Category 4 riders bringing the group across. Strange move from Brachansky.
Oh, maybe not. You're into the last 900 metres. I'm just going to very quickly jump back to Category 4 because Mohamed El Alami took away the climbs competition behind Giuliano, Ibrahim Hernandez and Quiros, your race winner.
Well, Category 3 finish is unfolding, and Pierre Fell went long, went hard. Fell now being brought back into the pack as Ivo Sur turns the corner. He turns the corner in the lead of the Category 3 group, and we drop him with Ivo Sur at the moment, and he's on his bike and his look of concentration. It's a big, big group. Sur, Squilari, Alvarado, all in the mix. Montoya is there. Angarita is there. The push now is going to come from somewhere. They've got 400 metres to go, 300 metres coming up. Lepera's gone. Christopher Morgan pushing strongly on the front of the group. What is going to take place here? But Kolaski goes, Fell. Angarita goes at 11 watts per kilo. Marvin Angarita is absolutely dying it. Montoya is at 9. But where is Angarita going to go? Up and over the top. This is the UCI banner. It's Montoya and Angarita. Kalman is coming in. Marvin Angarita goes over the top. Angarita takes it with a phenomenal sprint. Josh Power, Adrian Alvarado, Nick Squilari, all in the mix. That was a phenomenal sprint. And well, when the computer catches up, we'll give you the results.
Mine's on slightly faster speed. It's had more coffee this morning. Marvin Angarita taking the win in 1. Nick Scolari in 2. Josh Power in 3. Adrian Alvarado in 4. Matheus Kalman in 5. David Kowalski in 6. Christian Montoya in 7. Howeiler in 8th. The long-range attack from PFL not working out. He takes 9th. The rest of that group of 16 riders all coming through very, very quickly indeed. Marvin Angarita, another of our Centurions, the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club Centurions, 102nd participation, 7 wins now to match his 7 second places. Just has a little bit to do to match the 8 third places. He's got a great record on MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club.
Well, 1.7 seconds separating the top 16 riders in Category 3. You could throw a blanket over them.
Big blanket.
Not really. Well, Category 2 and Category 1 still out on the course at the moment. And interesting move here because on the right-hand side of your screen, X100, Bruce Bird, Nathan Guerra, 3 riders. Oh, strong group going up the road in Category 2. 3 seconds at the moment to the group behind. And let me just remind you, the group behind has 20 riders in it.
You need a siren. I want a siren button right in front of me right now because that warning siren should be going off for everybody behind. That is not enough chase going behind. They are coming back, but my goodness me, what are you doing? Letting Bruce Bird, Mr. X100 and Nathan Guerra go down the road. They are 3 uber dangerous riders. You just can't let that happen. It's still 4 seconds of the group behind. Are they just letting them wear themselves out?
Well, you got to think about it, haven't you? If you're in the group behind, you've got momentum, you've got draft, you've got pace. It's just a small group in front. It's a bigger group behind. The question is, are you banking on the fact it's going to come back and that somebody else is going to pull on the front? And at the moment, it's Michael Shuran who's pulling on the front, doing a sterling job of trying to transition over.
At 40.9k, though, you bring back these 3 riders, you're inviting another counter-attack. If you leave them there longer, leave them there a little bit longer, you are going to find they get pulled back later. It discourages a counter-attack. It's more likely to come in a sprint. Sharon, I think, wants to go across. He wants to go, and if that's 4 riders now, that becomes even more dangerous still because 4 riders are harder to bring back than 3. Sharon, though, has to get there first. There is still a gap. It's 2 seconds. You can see how hard he's having to work here. He's going at nearly 8 watts per kilo. We've seen him take 1 breather on the way across. Is he going to need another one before he makes contact here? He's at 6 seconds to the group behind, about a second onto this group here. And you can see that smart move. Mr. X100 waiting to give him a bit more draft.
Yeah.
Staying inside the 5-meter draft available to him, but giving that extra bit of draft to Sheeran.
And X100 wanted the bigger group.
He wanted that bigger group. He dropped back. He stayed in the draft, but gave draft to Sheeran. Super team playing. Yeah. Great move. And look at the gap that's opened up now. What they've got to do, Mr. X100 has not got to get dropped by this group and then leave 3 other riders in the front after having done that sterling duty of bringing Sheeran in.
Well, 4 versus 19 is better than 3 versus 20 as they go underneath the final checkpoint of the day. The Melbourne Sprint checkpoint at the 42-kilometre marker. They've got 3K to go.
And how invested in this break are they? Not one of those riders sprinted for that checkpoint. Who's
finish.
bothered about a sprint checkpoint when you've got the finish on offer? Not one of them went for it. All four riders committed to this breakaway, and that should put warning signs right up in front of these riders behind. We're now starting to see a response. Tatu Koistonen moving away at 6.2 watts per kilo, trying to move up. Right in amongst them, though, Michael Vink is on his way through this group, and he is clear at the moment of Jason Osborne, who is behind him.
Well, there we go. He's not that far behind him, is he?
No, only a few meters.
Oh, well, there we go.
You can't see him.
That's because there's all these Category 2 riders in the way.
No, so through goes Jason Osborne, the man who's got the climbs competition, takes the green sprint checkpoint here.
Is he going to do the same thing? He is.
The top.
He's just going to keep going.
Watching the numbers. Watching the numbers.
Look at that.
Watching
Last time round he did it at 10.5 watts per kilo. This time round he's doing it at 11.2. He's trying to break Michael Vink. Michael Vink is trying to go with him. How long can Michael Vink hold 10.5 watts per kilo? Because this is the move for the win. And I think Michael Vink is going to close the gap down, because I don't think Jason Osborne is going to put a big enough gap in. He's not. He's back right off, and Michael Vink is going to hit that draft very, very soon.
But then now is the moment, as Vink just about gets there. Osborne needs to go again if he wants to go clear. Kick now and kick down hard. You've got Vink just about getting on his wheel. Vink has gone down to 7.3. You let Vink drop to 5, and then you go again. Will Osborne do that? That would be the big kick. Has he got it? Is he waiting? Only he knows how much energy he's got for sprints left coming up. It didn't work that time. The audacity, though, to kick clear through a sprint and then keep going, but then not just do it once, but do it twice.
Well, I tell you something, he's about to go again, because he's just kicked at 11.3. It's a small climb, it's a small rise, and this is what we normally see from Michael Vink, or we did see of Michael Vink of old. So Osborne is doing a Vink. It is a complete change around. Vink's, well, he's on his wheel. He knows exactly what's happening. He's a past master of using the flyovers.
He is, and it's that self-same flyover, but taken in reverse today, that gives these riders the right-hand sweeping turn back round onto the road. So as they make their way in around this turn, Osborne and Vink glued together at the front of Category 1 on the left-hand side of your screen. Right-hand side of your screen, Bird, Shuren, X100, along with Guerra at the front of the race. 9 seconds is the gap. Peter Milostic now, I think, has gone, that's enough. I need to get across. So Milostic is chasing. He's just clear of the chase group, but behind him, the rest of the riders are hesitating, and that is going to really play into the hands of the leading 4 riders. Nobody's bringing back our chaser, Milostic, and that's dangerous. Milostic comes up. He's got a phenomenal sprint.
He has indeed, and never, ever discount Peter Milostic. He's a phenomenal rider and a phenomenal racer, and he does normally get his timing really good. Now, the 3 riders, X100, Guerra and Bird, who went away originally, joined by Shuren to make it 4. They're now in the final 500 metres, and the push is on, and Michael Shuren, the rider who closed the gap down, is the rider to go off the front first. 400 metres to go, and he's gone long. Bird is there. Guerra is there. X100. Guerra's trying not to make the move yet. He's trying to sit in the draft. He's trying to stay there for as long as possible. Bird is out. Bird is on the front. Shuren is dialing it. Can Michael Shuren hold this? Oh, there's nods from the other side of the studio, because the UCI banner has come. Shuren has got his timing to perfection. Mikael Shuren closed the gap down. He's taken off the front of the pack, and he's won Category 2 this week. Nathan Guerra, I think, comes through for second place today. Phenomenal racing from Guerra. It's not been long since he's come up from Category 3, and he's got better and better and better. Bruce Bird takes 3rd. X100 takes 4th. Peter Milostic wins the sprint to take 5th place. From Damsgaard, Kane, Walter Bjarhead. Well, they are very quickly through, thick and fast. 23 riders separated by 19 seconds.
Well, great riding by Michael Shuren, taking not just his first podium, but his first win on the Sunday Race Club in Category 2.
Well, Osborne's at 14 watts per kilo already with 400 metres to go, because Michael Vink is staying as close to his wheel as possible. Osborne's backing off the pace slightly. Can Vink respond? What can Vink do? Can Osborne hold this? They're going to turn the corner and see the banner. Jason Osborne in 1, Michael Vink in 2. Vink's on our screen at the moment. Can he close down Jason Osborne? What can Vink do? It's Osborne versus Fink as Fink goes over the top of Osborne. Michael Fink takes the win today in the sprint from Jason Osborne. That was a cracking race. Michael Vink on our screen takes on the yellow skin suit. He's beaten the world champion today.
So Michael Vink takes his 47th win on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club in 118 participations. He's clear of the winner of the green jersey and the winner of the polka dot jersey, Jason Osborne, who takes away the wins in both those competitions. Meanwhile, big chase group behind, all battling now for what is going to be third, fourth, fifth, etc. as they come into this long left.
Wow, yeah, 350 metres to go. 6 riders in this chase group, and Wu is absolutely pushing. I've just seen Wu start to dial it and wind it up. Vu Yassin has gone at 14.5 watts per kilo. Come on, Lionel Vu Yassin, you can do it. Straight over the top. Kaminsky is dialing it as well. This is teammates. This is Kaminsky, Vu Yassin and Jones. Vu Yassin has pushed. Jones is coming. Kaminsky and Chugles. Chugles is there as well, but Vu Yassin wants it. Does he get it? No, it goes to Jones. Jones takes the third place from Vu Yassin. Oh, you can see what that meant. Michael Knudsen. Oh, it is all change and go at the moment. Phenomenal sprinting from that group for third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth place today.
So Michael Vink taking the win in 1 hour, 3 minutes, 34.287 seconds. A sprint which saw him go clear of Jason Osborne by 0.26 of a second at the end. Another close sprint in the battle behind, with Ollie Jones timing it to perfection to take third place ahead of Leonard Chugles in fourth. Lionel Vujassin frustrated with fifth position. Behind him, Michael Knudsen, Michael Kaminsky and Yun Fei Wu coming through in the rest of that group. Behind him, Hayden Pucker in ninth position. All the race results on the MyWhoosh website. That's mywhoosh.com. Go to the results on the main menu. Don't forget to jump on board at mywhooshinfo.com for lots more details as well. Whilst you're on your computer, download iOS, Android, or the PC Windows version of MyWhoosh. Jump on board. Come and join us on the Sunday Race Club. If you want to watch rather than ride, don't forget, you need to be ready for Wednesday, because on Wednesday we're going to be here with the very first of the MyWhoosh public qualifiers. Make sure you subscribe to the MyWhoosh YouTube channel to make sure you get notified when we go live on that. Really looking forward to seeing those first public qualifiers. I'll be bringing you the action. My name's Matt Payne. I'll be in the studio with Emma Martin. You can follow me at Matt Fixer Payne. You can follow Emma at biking_Emma. Follow MyWhoosh on Facebook and on Instagram. Massive thank you to our riders for keeping us entertained today and putting down some phenomenal performances. A big thank you to everybody behind the scenes at MyWhoosh and in the TV production for bringing the racing all to you and making it all happen. And a big thank you to my co-host Emma here in the studio as well. But my biggest thank you is to you for watching. Please do join us on Wednesday. Until then, we'll see you again soon.
Goodbye.